Oh, Friday night.
All right.
What is
Trying to get
Big-
Facebook stream going here, but I can't. For some reason I can't seem to master streaming to our Facebook group.
I keep forgetting to pull that StreamYard key and then popping it in there.
Well, I did, and I put the StreamYard key and the URL in there, but it is not going to Facebook. I'm stuck on complete post details.
You think it's where we said fuck Facebook on our last show?
That is a good
Rabbit hole.
It says we need a video source is required, and I'm putting streaming software. Is that how we done that? With streaming software? But anyway, I don't know. I was trying. If you guys can figure it out, let me know, and I'll get it up on Facebook. But for some reason, I guess we're not streaming again on our Facebook group tonight. But anyway, welcome to episode 17. Same cues, different views. Anybody that's wanting to know what that song was, that was the band Warlock. All We Are, kick-ass song.
Been a minute since I heard that one, man.
Yeah, so I done a Q related video to it. But yeah, it's me and Big Country had listened to that stuff growing up. That's the only song I remember by them. What was that? What was her name? The singer Dora, something like that. But
dude, it's been so long I can't remember.
But yeah,
good song though.
Yeah, kick-ass song, kick-ass jam. Awesome video for our 17th episode. We got a lot of Q stuff tonight. Got a whole lot of stuff to go over.
No way we got that on the 17th episode, do we?
But welcome to this Same Cues, Different Views, episode 17. We're your hosts, Parabellum, Big Country, and myself, X7. And we're going to go down some financial news. We got some Stephen Colbert news. White House, what I call White House comms, I think is what they are. That's what I got out of it anyway. Some Adam Schiff and Comey news.
Oh, yeah.
Trump and the NG, National Guards. Grand juries outside of D.C. this week. Pennsylvania and the 2020 election. There's some of this stuff falls back into that. Parabellum and I were talking about that the other day, pre-show.
Oh, yeah.
Some Kash Patel and the burn bag news. And then a little calm before the storm. And then we're going to go into tonight's rabbit hole, and it's going to be a new Pizzagate documentary that came out by Mr. Truth Bomb over on Rumble. And I didn't do the whole documentary. I got about 30 minutes of it because I felt it's probably going to run a little bit long doing the whole documentary. But I will provide the link in there if anyone wants to continue watching the rest of that. We won't play the rest of the documentary on the show. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see what happens in the famous words of Trump. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
That's right.
So,
hey, good job on the intro video, man. I seen that little pic of the first lady in there in her Tiffany blue dress.
Yeah,
Lord, yeah.
lot of meaning behind that dress, in case anybody doesn't know.
That made a big stank, didn't it? And they loved it.
She had also brought Tiffany blue boxes to Big Mike and boxes with Tiffany blue ribbon on them to Big Mike and Obama.
Yeah,
back then too.
That color has great significance.
Little JFK reference there.
Yes, sir.
The little first lady back then.
I dig it. I dig it.
Me too, brother. Anything before we jump into financial news anybody wants to discuss, or we just want to jump right into some financial news? My voice is cracking tonight.
What's up, Parabellum? We making money or not, buddy? I lost his audio, bub. Can you hear him?
Nope. You're muted, Parabellum.
I got you. Sorry about that.
All right.
We got the money.
There we go. We got to kick financial news off right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know it.
Are we rich?
You know it.
I was looking for that.
What is that?
All right, guys. Parabellum 4547 here. We're going to give you a little bit of the financial news that went down this week. A lot of things actually happened despite the tariff deadline being down and it was over. There's still a lot of things that happened for the economy. So one of the first things that I'd like to do is go over the tariff revenue. I know we've talked about that a whole lot here recently, but I never really broke it down for anybody. All the tariff revenue, this is our total so far. And just to put that in there, give me 1 second. Let me put, bam, got a laser today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so for January, which really wasn't too much for Trump, January and February. Starting out, it was $7.9 billion in tariff revenue, and February was $7.24 billion. And then you see kind of, Trump starts making deals. You see a little bit of an increase right here. Starts to move up to $8.17 billion. And then all of the tariffs that we're reporting, Philippines and Japan and everything like that, starts to go up around April, $17.4 billion. In May, President Trump got $23.9 billion in tariff revenue. And in June, it was $28 billion. Some sources did cite that it was $29 billion. But in July, I know it was a record-breaking deal that went down with the Trump administration. It was the highest tariff revenue that's been reported so far, upwards of over $29 billion. So the main thing to put in at that is that, you had Scott Bessent. He came in and said, we're going to be projected at least $300 billion in tariff revenue by the end of the year. And it looks like we're on track for that. The total so far, if you add in just about the $4 billion that's already been made in August, that's $154 billion that President Trump has made in tariff revenue alone. So for anybody that's out there and they're saying, tariffs don't work, and you might hear that, I'm here to show you that if you look at the information, tariffs absolutely do work. What are we going to use the money on? Hey, too soon to tell. Is it rebates? Is it cutting down the deficit? Is it stuff that President Trump would like to do to be able to move the economy along? Who knows? We'll see what happens. What do you guys think?
I'm leaning more toward, like I heard Trump talk about this a while back, was giving some kickback to the people, the taxpayers.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You're right.
It's November, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're looking at those numbers. It's definitely possible to be able to pull out a rebate check for the Americans, the lower class individuals. Lower income class, not lower class. My country come out right here. I'm lower class. Yeah. But anyway, I think that'll be a good possibility going on with the tariff revenue that's been brought in so far. I can only imagine what next year will bring. A little side note that I do have, President Trump, the tariff news, the only thing that's really happened is that he did extend a 90-day pause on tariffs against China. Of course, we knew that was coming, but I'd imagine that once that's settled, there's going to be more tariffs coming in from China that's going to increase that number, and rebates are going to be looking a lot better.
Good. I got a question, though.
Yeah, what's up?
How the frig did we get closed caption on the screen?
Well, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up. That's something that I'm doing in my PowerPoint presentation, and you're able to turn on only during my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, you're able to turn them on, and it kind of shows up on the screen. So I'm trying to look all professional while I wear a fresh sarcasm shirt and drink 99 and peach tea.
Yes,
in the middle of Kentucky, baby. That's how we do it.
So if I say dickhead, it's going to top it.
Well, no, actually, dickhead. It's going to pick up what I say, but it's not going to do the curse words. Fortunately, there is a little bit of censorship that goes on there. Fuck. Yeah, it won't do it.
Say penis cranium.
Penis cranium. Got it. Yes. Nice suggestion. We got it, man. We're beating the system every day, dude.
All right, move on.
So moving forward, so something that I've been reporting, we're looking at the inflation rate, and I know there's a lot of people that's still out there, and maybe you're looking up on Google and you're listening to the Bureau of Labor Statistics with that one chick's name. What was it, McIntarfer? Maybe you're doing that. So a little something that I'd like to give to the viewers. Maybe you haven't came onto this yet, but go ahead and head over to trueflation.com. Trueflation.com is something new that I've been checking out personally, and I'd like to start reporting it on the show because I think that it is just more logical. The best way that I can describe what Trueflation is to read their pitch here. I'm gonna read it for you real quick to kind of move forward. And the pitch for Truflation is basically they're an app and they're a program. We utilize modern consumer and spending data sets along with cutting edge technology to deliver the world's only verifiable daily inflation indexes. So this is basically the difference. You know, if you're waiting on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, maybe they do outdated stuff and you base it off CPI, Consumer Price Index, or, you know, PPI, and they look at goods and services. Then you got to wait at the end of the month for a number, right? So what Truflation says is we can check it every day. What are you guys doing? This is the new digital age. You know, kind of like a Doge tracker. They can literally check inflation day by day basis, and I'm absolutely loving this. So you guys, they even put down here. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, somebody's. What they're putting down here is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. If you can see that right there, they're actually reporting that the inflation rate stayed the same. Maybe you guys seen that 2.70. But if you look at the Truflation rate, they're going to say it's 2.07. That's what was reported today. So significantly lower compared to that monthly statistic. So if maybe you run into some liberals or some people out there and you've got some Truflation data, it's actually a legitimate company. Look into it for yourself. The Truflation rate of America's economy today is 2.07. Moving on.
And again, we are getting no ad revenue from Truflation.
Absolutely not, man. I just think it's logical and it makes sense and it's great. And I want to give people that ability, dude.
Although Truflation, if you're listening and want to advertise on our show, we would be glad.
Absolutely. We'll take it.
Yeah.
This is just tea, I promise. So something big that happened here recently, just actually, I think happened yesterday or today. President Trump went out and he signed the Social Security Act for seniors. That went down. So basically what that means is no tax on Social Security for seniors. That's part of the big, beautiful bill that went down today, guys. Some of the extra highlights that happened with the signing and some of the things that President Trump mentioned whenever he did sign the Social Security Act was that they also removed 275,000 illegals from the system. You're going to hear a lot of stuff going on with the Census Bureau here lately. I didn't get to bring up any of that information, but 275,000 illegal aliens were in the system. Okay, to be able to receive Social Security and all this Medicare, it's absolutely ridiculous. Another thing, we cleared 12.4 million names of people that were aged 120 plus. A lot of that comes from Doge. You know, that happened today. It went down today and is absolutely in effect as soon as possible. Even furthermore, 135,000 people aged over 160 years old was in the Social Security system. I mean, that's outright, like, that's outrageous. You know, absolutely define the system. Go ahead, big country.
I wonder what the average payout is per person on that, where you say 275,000 illegals removed from it. Just, I wonder what the average is.
I would imagine it depends on how long they've been getting it. You know, maybe the rates go up, or it depends on, you know, maybe not. I think just the disability rate or the kind of like a disability, you know, it would give a set diagram. I'd say about $800-900 a month. And then you times that by 135,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you're saving that much money.
Savings, dude.
That is absolutely huge savings. So this is a really big deal. And you had a lot of opposition from the Democrats, you know, saying that you're stopping Medicare, you know, and we're familiar with that. We know what's going on with that. But this is probably one of the best things that's happened in the recent weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, to go back over the no tax on Social Security, they keep calling it no tax. And, you know, there's a little bit about that. We said it on a previous show. It is a $6,000 deduction, okay, for anybody age 65 years or older and they have an income. So basically the way that works is if you're 65 years or older and you don't have a job, you're not getting taxed anyway. So there's probably going to be no change on your Social Security, okay? But if you're somebody who's a business entrepreneur or you're one of them, you know, you're an old school boy and you're keeping your job to run your business past 65 and you're getting Social Security, well, guess what? You know, you're going to see tax deductions and it's going to help you and your family out a whole lot.
Yeah.
And so President Trump paying back people who are working hard for America. And I love this.
It should be.
Wasn't it like a similar thing too with like the no tax on overtime, that it's not like right on your check, that it's going to come out. You'll be able to take a tax deduction.
I'm not sure. I think that actually starts at the beginning of next year, or you'll be able to file that on your taxes this coming year. I'll look into that a little bit more. I know there was a little bit of debate about that as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of back and forth with that. I was kind of wondering where it's going.
You know, you get a lot of Democrat slosh that goes through with that, man. And then you get a lot of facts that are mixed in with it. It's kind of hard to disseminate the information. But I'll get back into that and make sure, you know, we know for the next show.
Yep, how that actually is going to work with the no tax on overtime.
So this is one that a lot of people are actually already familiar with. It happened on August 6th.
Oh,
I
this
didn't
is
get to
great.
bring it up, dude. This was awesome. Like, I didn't get to bring it up in the last show, and I do apologize, so I'm making up for it now. I want to be able to bring in that President Trump and Apple just made a huge deal. Apple's going to increase their investment to the United States up to $600 billion into the USA. I've just got a few of the highlights of what's going on. If you want to look a little further, for yourself, there is so much more going on with this. It's insane. But Apple is basically coming home to the United States. A lot of their stuff is based out of China. They moved their factories over there when Democrats were in power. Of course, you make your money by doing cheap labor over in China. That's not what President Trump and the Republican administration is about. So basically, Apple has taken advantage of President Trump's no tariffs on companies that build in the United States deal. You remember President Trump saying that, guys? If you build in America, I won't tariff you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Apple is the first one that came out and took advantage of it.
We also talked about this on the show too, and we were talking about this pre-show. Is Apple had moved one of their factories or started moving their factories over there to China, and what we were talking about it. One of the places they had moved their factories to was a small fishing village. It had a very, very small population, and then that fishing village ended up growing into a full functioning city of millions. Industry.
Absolutely. I mean, Apple is a huge deal. I've got a little bit of the information here. I know they currently employ over 450,000 people that are going to see secure jobs through this, and that's going to create more.
Yeah, that should have been in the United States that Apple had done that, not in China.
Well, that's what you get whenever you elect a Democrat. See, they like to make their money overseas. They've always done it. They do it overseas where, look in this pocket while I steal from the other pocket. This is what Democrats I know all my life. That's what they do. But you're absolutely right, Hex. I'll go a little bit more into some of these highlights. So some of the big things about this, which is a little personal for us, we're from Kentucky. This deal is going to include partnerships with companies like Corning that will produce all iPhone and Apple Watch cover glass in Harrodsburg, Kentucky. So, you got a little bit of local jobs that are coming in. That's expected to create over 20,000 new American jobs. And at the same time, sustaining the 450,000 that's already here.
Absolutely.
Apple's also going to expand. They have multiple data centers. They're going to expand them in several states. Some of them listed here: North Carolina, Iowa, Nevada, Oregon. That's only going to grow, and you're going to see a whole lot more jobs come out of that. What's pretty cool is they're even going into construction of a 250,000 square foot server of their own here in the United States. And it's going to be a manufacturing facility in Houston, and it's going to support Apple Intelligence and private cloud computers. They're going to be able to do that from here rather than in China. So huge deal for a lot of stuff coming back to the United States. And one thing that I absolutely have to mention is this last part right here. Apple is now the first company to build and produce a complete end-to-end silicone chip supply chain that's entirely in the United States. So basically what that means is like all those rare earth minerals and everything that President Trump's been going after and he's been securing and taking away from China, right? Trying to take China out of the trade because they do at least 70% of rare earth minerals, and that's what's used to make those chips. This is a huge ploy to kind of combat China in that sector, because I do believe that's going to be the future of a lot of investment in America. They're basically going to be able to mine the rare earth minerals. Okay, right here. It's going to be, I think, in Arizona is where they're building it. And they're going to be able to mine it, build it, and send it straight out of America. You ain't seen that made in the USA in a long time, have you guys?
No, sir.
It's happening with Apple.
You said that too, Parabellum. That I know you was talking about the job numbers that this Apple investment is going to create. For anybody out there watching, also remember that there's a lot of satellite jobs that follows these new developments coming in like that. I mean, you've got trucking, construction, mining, all that. It surrounds these businesses. So those numbers are going to be a lot bigger than just what you're seeing advertised.
All the way up to electronics, entertainment, Navy, Army. I mean, anything military, it's used in all of that stuff. So you're about to see a boom in the economy, and President Trump's taking a true stranglehold on that. And I think he's a very smart man to do so. He may be an older president, 78, but he's keeping up with the times. And that's what makes him a winner, dude.
Yeah. Again, we're only... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Big Country.
Oh, I was just going to say that I was in mining there for a few years, and they brought the stats to one of the mines that I worked at one time, and they said for every coal miner that was working, 25 other people had a job.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Absolutely.
Just the satellite jobs that surrounds that industry.
You better believe it. And then the coal miners, you know, of course, he's bringing coal back to everywhere that we see under President Trump. But he's even going a step further, looking into natural gas and those rare earth minerals. You know, rare earth minerals are mined totally different than coal. So you're going to see a whole lot of creative jobs if this stuff takes off. And I really predict that it will. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, Hicks. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off a minute ago.
Like you were talking about the satellite jobs there, I like that trickles down to the sign business. You know, I'm in the sign business.
Absolutely.
A lot of these satellite jobs that it creates, these people need signage, they need logos for their company and stuff like that. So, you know, that it trickles down to not just satellite jobs off the coal industry, but those jobs trickle down into other jobs being created.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the way down to the man that takes the trash out. I mean,
absolutely.
You gotta have it.
Yep.
If you can get the head of the snake, I mean, you're going to create so much more, you know, it truly is a domino effect. But one thing I did have a question for you, Hex, you talk about doing signage and stuff like that. We're talking about satellites. Is there any way you could get Big Beautiful Bill up there on the satellite in space? Because that would be fucking great. Yeah.
Let me get with my friend. Let me get with my friend Elon over on X. I don't know if you guys.
I got you. Okay, I got faith in you guys, man. I think you can do it, bro.
Before we move
on,
I want to give a shout out to everybody watching over on Rumble. We've got a few people watching over there. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're hoping to put a good show on for you guys tonight and give you some good informative information.
Heck yeah.
Go ahead. Continue, Parabellum.
All right, here we go, buddy. Getting ready to wrap it up, guys. We'll be done with the financial segment and we'll get into the videos and all the cool stuff that happened this week. Next thing, small little thing that basically happened here. A lot of people are taking it as bizarre and weird and they don't really quite understand it. But I'm here to tell you it's pretty freaking simple, okay? Common sense, old country boy shit right here. NVIDIA, AMD to pay US 15% of their chip sales that they sell to China, okay? And this is a deal that was made with Trump. This just recently happened. So basically, this is the way that works. NVIDIA, you know, because Trump, he set all these tariff, you know, restrictions in play, and he's trying to kind of cut the market down and take China out of the ball game a little bit. He basically told NVIDIA, he said, if you want to sell chips to China, you have to pay to play, baby. You got to pay me 15% to the United States if you're going to plan on selling these old chips to China. So I thought that was pretty cool. The thing about that is, you know, it's not like a real big deal, but it's still pretty cool. And I think it was a total trolling move by President Trump. He's still able to make money off something that you really shouldn't be able to make money off of. Yeah. And if you look at the numbers, dude, he's gonna be able to generate $2 to $3 billion every year out of NVIDIA.
It's huge, man. 15%. That's awesome.
You guys seen their stocks? They just go up every day, dude. They're totally in the stock news.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hank. The man did sell rice to China.
He did. You know what I mean? I mean, he's making that money, baby. I am telling you, all day, every day. Gotta love this president.
Who does that? What's the old saying? He could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in a white dress.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Right that's there. What I was looking for. Yeah. Freaking rice to Japan, dude. 550 billion. That's insane. Yeah. But gonna wrap it up, guys. Just to end it with the stock market, what happened today and a little bit throughout the week. So at the week, we were at about 49,000, right where we are now. We had about an 800-point drop in the Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ index. They've seen a lot of records break. This is, you know, they've only, today was a you know, kind of a blank day, a flat day. Nobody really lost. Nobody really won. But one thing I want you to understand is that we were at about 44,000. If you guys look, let me put my pointer up here. 44,946, okay, is right where we're back at now. So everything that we lost throughout the week, there was a huge surge where we gained about 400 points, 300 points over a couple of days. And the one thing that I'd really like to point out is that I have been waiting for this Dow Jones index to break under President Trump. And break that, because he's already broke the record for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, and he's done it time and time again already within the first 7-8 months of President Trump. The one I've been waiting on is Dow Jones, and I have to correct myself from the last show. I said President Trump broke the record at 45,014. I was a little incorrect in that matter. The credit will go to the Biden administration, because it was that previous record was set at December 4th. But the election already happened, and I will have to say that was a lot of the market coming in, getting ready for President Trump to come in. So you saw a huge boom. Yeah. So technically it goes to Biden, But I'm waiting for that to happen and just bust 45,014 on a closed day.
But
And,
we all know
it's going to happen, dude.
We all know why the market got as
Yeah.
good as it did.
Yeah, we're not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
split hairs
What?
here.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't Joe Biden.
It wasn't Biden, dude, at all. So that's what I got for the financial segment, guys. Appreciate you listening and tuning in.
Right, all right.
Just real quick here, I was scrolling through X and came across this. Adam Schiff, Joe Rambo on X had put this out here. He says, let me share my screen, actually. There we go. But Joe Rambo had put this out on X, and I've not got a chance to check it out yet. I was kind of watching it, or kind of wanting to watch it, hoping you guys watch it with me. But he says, I'm convinced that we're watching a comedy. How does this make you feel? The man knows he's in big trouble. So this is Adam Schiff. Let's see what's Adam talking about here. I'm just kind of curious. Wanted to throw this in there.
Thank you, Pete, and thank you for the amazing job that you do. Folks, we are at a precarious moment in our nation's history. All of us in this room who have lived in the generation post-World War II, we're used to growing up in a world of ever-increasing freedoms. We saw new democracies being born. We saw walls coming down. We saw our freedoms expand, the freedom to speak our mind or practice our faith or to love whom we would love. And we thought that this was inexorable, that it was like the moral arc of the universe always bending towards justice, until suddenly we found ourselves in a world where it was not bending towards justice, until suddenly we saw not new democracies being born, but new autocracies. Instead of seeing our own rights here at home expand, we saw them start to contract. And we have come to learn, much to our shock and astonishment, that this thing we call democracy is fragile. And now we are on the precipice of another great threat to our democracy, and that is this effort by Donald Trump and Republicans in Texas to take people's vote away, to make the votes of those in California worth less, by taking lines in Texas that are already horribly gerrymandered to elect Republicans and making them worse. This is a president who has never viewed himself as a president of the United States of America, but only as a president of some of the states.
Listen to that gerrymandering lie.
This has never been the case in America. But I will say this, you come after our votes in California and we will fight you tooth and nail.
What a shitbag.
Donald Trump, you do not poke the bear.
What?
We are around. And people need to understand why he's doing this. They just passed in Congress the most reprehensible bill, their big ugly bill, that is raising healthcare costs for millions of people. It's going to cost millions of people their healthcare. As we stand here today, notices are already beginning to go out to tell people their health insurance costs are going up by 50% or 70%. People now, parents that are off buying back to school things for their kids, are seeing backpacks up 30% because of his stupid tariff wars, and pens and pencils costing even more. They're having to tell their kids they can't engage in certain extracurricular activities because they just don't have the money. People losing their health care, their costs are going up. This guy ran on a platform of bringing down the cost of the American people, and he's a failure. He's a failure. Costs continue to rise, but take solace in this. As you, the American people, are paying more and more for your everyday lives, Donald Trump's economy is going great. His personal economy is great. He's building a $200 million ballroom for himself. He just got his third Air Force One. He's making more money for himself and his family than he ever has in his whole life put together. He doesn't give a rat's ass about you. Not in California, not in
That'll
Texas.
go to the library, the plane. Like
it is
he paid for the ballroom with donors and his money.
For the reason why you are struggling hard to make a living. And we are going to fight back. We're going to make sure that here in California, your vote matters. If they're going to play with fire, we're going to fight fire with fire. And let me just say this to quote our wonderful governor, Donald Trump, thank you for your attention to this matter.
What the fuck? Oh shit!
It's hard to troll people when you're an absolute liar. You know what I mean? Like the majority of America knows that Schiff is full of shit. You know?
He talks so much shit. If he ever gave head, they'd think it was anal.
I'm telling you, that's it. That's it. I knew there was a big country quote coming.
All I heard was pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Man.
What a buzzkill.
Snake oil salesman.
So we was coming into the show, and there was a little bit of the breaking news with Putin, Vladimir Putin and President Trump. They were speaking. You know, I know we got to catch a little bit live. Maybe the viewers they didn't see it, but
Loved what Putin said.
oh man, that was huge, dude. Wasn't that great?
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin got straight into the microphone. He looked dead into the camera, and he said, "Yeah, pretty much. If President Trump was your president and not Joe Biden, I wouldn't have invaded Ukraine."
What had Trump been saying through all of his rallies?
Been saying it forever.
If I were president, this war would have never happened.
Absolutely. And he suffered so much backlash from social media and legacy media, you know, and they told him he was full of shit. And that absolutely turned out to be untrue because Vladimir Putin, like I said, he just came out today and he said it right live on TV. I wouldn't have done it.
I probably,
Vindication, baby.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to go into a Q dig right now, but there's a Q drop that talks about, saying, talking about Trump work. What if Trump's working with Putin and other high foreign leaders?
Oh, yeah.
Down the system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something to keep in mind.
Could be the way that he spoke about President Trump. He was definitely, he was trying to sweet talk him a little bit, I do believe, but we do understand Vladimir Putin. You know, you never know what to believe of things that comes out of his mouth. He'll say one thing.
There's also one of the things I thought about too today is like I was watching when they first met there and they got out of their planes.
Yeah.
There's a Q drop talking about the tarmac meeting. And
oh yeah.
Like that popped in my head. I've not got to dig into it a whole lot, but that kind of popped in my head. Maybe there's something around that Q drop and that tarmac meeting because they come together and walk down the aisle, and then the B-2 bombers went over. And
oh yeah, you mean the B-2 bombers?
The greatest power move in the history of modern politics just happened live in Alaska. Vladimir Putin meeting Donald Trump, walking down the red carpet. Donald Trump flies a secret B-2 stealth bomber over his head. Vladimir Putin stops and looks up at the sky like this.
Don't you worry about that, Vladimir.
That's what I was. It's all right, buddy. It's all right.
How about that, man? Was that not a master trolling move? He totally did it just to show him I can sneak a B-52 over you, bro, and then pat you on the back and be like, "You're okay, big guy."
I bet the hair was standing up on his arms under that suit.
He said, "Oh shit."
Let's see. Do I have? Oh yeah. Since we're on that subject, let's go ahead and take a look at this. This popped up. This is where Trump and Putin were meeting at. So the building they were going to have the meeting in
17th Street.
Oh, big country catching it. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Q1. Like, this ain't a coincidence that they had picked
Wow.
17th Street and Q1, which is known in that area as Q1. Like,
that is insane, dude. Q1 on 17. That's pretty cool, dude.
yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. By the way, let me put that back up there again. Well, why isn't it going? There it is. Yeah. So anyway, if anybody wants to follow this guy on Truth Social, I guess it's a guy, 77, no relation.
Oop. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
There we go.
But anyway, if anybody wants to follow him on Truth Social, that's where I'd first seen it at. But apparently, I think X22 had also posted it on over on X account, his X account, the same thing. So that's that's where they met. But
Did Dave make mention of that 17th Street and Q1 in his video?
I don't know. I've not got to watch X-22 in a couple of days. I watched a little bit of Absolute Storm yesterday's episode or day before yesterday's episode, but I've not got to watch a whole lot of the stuff I usually watch. So Dave may have mentioned it in tonight's episode. I don't know. I'd started listening to it, but it was time for the show, so I didn't get to finish. He just kind of started going into his usual take.
Good deal.
But I do want to go back and listen to it to see if he actually mentions it and talks about it and see what Dave's take is on it. And also Absolute Storm show will probably have a take on it too, I'm sure, because they're good with this stuff. But earlier this week, one of the things, actually it wasn't earlier, it was like 2 days ago, I had come across this. I think it was about 2 days ago. Getting ready to go to bed, was flipping through channels, and Stephen Colbert, which I freaking hate Stephen Colbert. But anyway.
Oh, it's big news went down there.
Yeah. So this kind of reminded me of Pizzagate. This was his little skit that he does at the beginning of it. And I got a Pizzagate vibe from it. See what you think, Big Country.
Dr. Casey Means credited psychedelic mushrooms with helping her find love, writing the use of mushrooms helped her make space to find love at 35.
Are you looking for love? Having trouble finding a partner on this plane of existence? Introducing Shroomer, the psychedelic dating app endorsed by Dr. Casey Means. With Shroomer, you'll meet eligible singles to mingle with and then fall off the edge of the universe. Like this doorknob with the voice of your mother.
You'll never amount to everything.
I just want to point out right here, too, I'd pointed this. Let me back it up just a little bit here and make this bigger. That little screenshot of the cell phone there, doorknob 46, enjoys reading, bike riding, and let me go back.
Meditation, I believe.
Yeah. Like for some reason, Joe Biden popped in my head because think about the bike ride incident when he fell off his bike. He's always reading a teleprompter, and half the damn time he looks like he's in meditation.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of got that vibe from that. I don't know if that's what they were.
Voice of your mother.
You'll never amount to everything.
Or how about this eligible skull made of rainbows? His hobbies include tasting the sun and whittling. Shroomer, don't freak out about being single. Freak in because your date's favorite album is pizza.
Oh, there it is.
Hey.
What was that saying? Suck my drawing, or what was that?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what that pizza was saying. I was curious.
Let me go back. We'll pull it back up there again.
That's the first time I seen that video.
Let me back it up here.
Pepperoni.
Oh, pepperoni. Okay.
It almost sounded like
Thanks.
suck my groin.
Yeah, I know. It sounded like so much. Not my drawing. Suck my groin.
But anyway, like pizza and mushrooms and pepperoni mentioned a lot in that. And then the pizza record, and your favorite date loves pizza. Like I got a Pizzagate vibe from it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
That's a good possibility.
Also within like this was an older episode. I think this episode actually aired when we were doing our 250th coverage there. That was going on, the celebration. Is when this episode actually aired, and I didn't see it until it was a replay. So I went back and was wondering, what else was in this episode. So I looked at the episode up and watched it on YouTube, and I'd seen one little segment of the episode on YouTube. Bernie Sanders was on there, and this one segment kind of caught my attention too. And mind you, pay attention to the dates I've gotten this, and think about what happened. But you'll get it just watching it. Check this out.
You have to actually have a press that is telling you what's going on and even speaking. And the problem has become is that even stating the truth about this administration ends up sounding biased because it's really hard to find something that isn't negative or anti-democratic about what they're doing. So, case in point, you and 8 other senators wrote a letter to my ultimate boss, the chair of Paramount, warning of the dangers of having CBS settle a lawsuit that Trump has brought against CBS News. As you
now we're going to get you
now.
fired,
What?
Maybe this might be his last show.
Yes. That's where that graphic came from. Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show.
So that was
I'm
in
your
May.
host, Stephen Colbert. Listen, I'm going to go ahead. Thank you very much. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Cancel culture has gone too far. You may have heard the news. Last week, we learned that The Late Show will be ending in May. And thank you. I want to thank everybody who reached out to me over the weekend, including one text from an unknown number offering a high-paying IT work-from-home job for only 2 to 3 hours a day. Yes, I am very interested. And I will be sending you my routing number in May. Daddy needs a job.
So you had earlier, like, was it 2 months apart, that Bernie Sanders talked about Stephen Colbert being fired? And then you have Stephen Colbert, his show getting shit canned and him getting fired.
Yep.
It's freaking crazy. It's a movie. I think that's what it is. I think that's what we're watching. You there, Parabellum? You are.
Yeah.
Muted. Oh,
Sorry about that, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't really get to see the video. I had to take care of something a little on the personal side real quick. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyway, while you're doing that, let's take a look at shit. Didn't want to pull that up just yet. I wanted to pull the slide up first. There we go. The White House posted this the other day. Says game over. Deportation's ramping up. I thought it was hilarious. They done this like a video game.
Yeah, that's
Check
the
it.
Mario Brothers stuff right there.
Yeah. All right, so they had posted that and said game over. There's quite a few Q drops that mentioned game over, but I pulled this one up specific, or just one of the ones I decided to pull up. Kind of hints at a lot of what's going on right now, in my opinion. But it says Executive Order 13526, SEC 1.717, classification prohibited. Classifications. 1 second here. Classification for him limitations. A, in no case shall information be classified, continue to be maintained as classified, or fail to be classified in order to, number one, conceal violations of law, inefficiency, or administrative error. Number two, prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency. Number three, retain retain my mouse is absolutely going crazy. Retain competition, or four, prevent the daily release, prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of national security. Sleep no more. The American people and others around the world are awakened. Panic. Game over. Q. So, like, when I was reading that drop, it made me think about how they've been trying to go against what all the stuff that's been coming out against them with the whole 2016 election. And a lot of this is going to lead into the 2020 election. And we'll get into some of that a little bit later. But that kind of crossed my mind with the post there saying game over, and then this Q drop talking about how they're again trying to cover their tracks. We just seen Adam Schiff, the way he was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. That's a good possibility, dude. I mean, it's drip, drip, drop, right? That's what we say all the time. And it could be coming in. You're talking about deportations ramping up. I don't know if it's a good time or not, but did you see Ron DeSantis come out talking about a new deportation building?
Yeah.
Other than the Alcatraz?
Yeah.
Yes. A new deportation. Sorry, I just keep seeing deportations on the screen. Is it okay if I bring it up for a moment, or are you in the middle of the point?
No,
all right,
go right ahead.
This was freaking hilarious, guys, and I was dying laughing watching this. So, in the last show we reported, Alligator Alcatraz, Democrats.
I love the name too.
Yeah, dude. Radical judges were trying to stop expansion processes on Alligator Alcatraz. So, Reported today, if not yesterday, Ron DeSantis, he comes on and he does a little interview and he's talking about his brand new building that he'll be building that is up to code to be able to house over 130,000 more illegal aliens. So here we go. Check this out. Just listen to the name he calls it.
So I'm here to announce today that we are authorizing and will be soon opening this new illegal immigration detention, processing, and deportation facility here in North Florida. We are calling this the Deportation Depot. It is going to be named, it is going to be located here at Baker Correctional Institute. And again, the reason of this is not to just house people indefinitely. We want to process, stage, and then return illegal aliens to their home country. That is the name of the game. And that's what we do in Florida. We know that this is an important national priority, not only of President Trump, but of the American people. Of all the issues in the election, I can tell you this immigration and border issue was either the top or right near the top on all people's minds. And so
How about that, Big Country? That was insane, dude.
I dig it.
Say hello to your next big meme, bro. Deportation Depot? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
It's going to hit, man.
Yes.
I just see illegal aliens on trains, like heading south, you know. They're getting...
I'm dying to know who came up with it. You think it was Ron D?
It's got to be, dude. I mean, you know, I would assume, now this is just my personal opinion, he's pretty pissed about the expansion of Alligator Alcatraz, and I would also assume that this is his response to it. So if there's a delay on Alligator Alcatraz, we'll just make another building, and then just to rub it in their faces, I'd imagine, dude, that he came up and he said, we'll call it Deportation Depot.
Deportation Depot. Hey, they already line up in front of the Home Depot, so they should come right to it running.
Absolutely. Well, I think there is a little bit of the cultural reference, and I think that's on purpose, dude.
Yeah.
Anytime he says that little Home Depot sound in the commercial.
Oh yeah, I should have got it. I was telling Big Country, there's your next big memes. It's coming, dude. You're gonna have like the illegal aliens hanging off trains going south, you know, like videos, dude.
Hell yeah.
That's a good place to round them up.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the drop there, but I felt it was perfect.
I was done with that.
That tied right in, man. That was great.
Good deal. Good deal.
What do you say we get into some Adam Schiff and Comey?
Oh, here we go. That's the big news for the week. Adam Schiff, Comey, whistleblowers, leaks. We got all kinds of DOJ and documents dropping. Here we go, baby.
Yeah. So we had this on. I'd kind of modified the slide from last week. We had this slide on the show last week, and it was Q 4521, and upper left corner there, you can see the Q drop, and Q has posted a screenshot. We went over this last week. He posted a screenshot of HR 7297, which was aimed, and we'll kind of run through this a little bit quickly, but it was aimed to pretty much strengthen the Posse Comitatus Act. And again, we went over this on last week's show, the Posse Comitatus Act and what it does. And the Posse Comitatus Act pretty much prohibits use of military on United States soil. And Adam Schiff was trying to strengthen that. This was back in 2020. So anyway, the drop goes on to talk about the Posse Comitatus Act in the center top of your screen there. Just kind of giving a description of the Posse Comitatus Act and, you know, what it is. And then Q says, what is Adam Schiff trying to prevent? And if you look over, I've got, again, like I had last week, I've got this over to Q325 over on the right side top of your screen. And Q tells us Adam Schiff is a traitor to our country and a leaker. What do we just see come out here recently with Adam Schiff? If you go right down under that drop, I've got the Fox News screenshot, and Schiff is accused of leaking classified information.
Yeah.
TikTok. So Q had told us back in 2017 that Adam Schiff was a leaker and a traitor to the country. And now we're actually getting to see it come true. This drop is actually like 100% spot on. because we're seeing it happen. But anyway, there is an exception to the Posse Comitatus Act, and I think I'd went over this. I couldn't remember on last week's show, but the Insurrection Act of 1807 this is down there again on the center bottom of your screen. It says exception to the Posse Comitatus Act. The Insurrection Act of 1807 is the U.S. federal law that empowers the President of the United States to nationally deploy the U.S. military and to federalize National Guard units of individual states in specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil disorder or of insurrection or armed rebellion. So can Trump legally use the National Guards like he's doing in D.C. right now?
I believe so.
I would think so. I mean, every criteria that they've got described in that has been met in D.C.
Yeah. The biggest one, when a governor or a senator fails to do their job in the best of American interest, then you are allowed to step in as president. That would be the biggest one that I would get from the logical side of things.
Yeah, I mean, basically do your job or I'm going to do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, what job have you had where it didn't work like that? You know what I mean? Manager had to step in because the dude showed up high. So, get out of here. I'll do your job.
Let's look a little more into this graphic I've got put up here and talk about it. So Adam Schiff sponsored Bill HR 7297. This was back in 2020. And again, this was to modify or strengthen the Posse Comitatus Act that would prohibit Trump from using the military on U.S. soil. The bill also prohibits the use of evidence obtained by or with the assistance of a member of the armed forces in violation of the bill. Posse Comitatus Act could render Trump's ability to use the military. If this was passed, it could have rendered Trump's ability to use the military, to where it was a hindrance and he couldn't do it. So like the left's tactics usually are to cause chaos, cause riots. We've seen that in 2020, the summer of love, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the playbook every time.
Yep, it's the same playbook. So Trump's use of the military in D.C. is to counter this stuff. So anyway, Q says in drop 4521, what is Adam Schiff trying to prevent? Q also says in that drop, toward the end of it, everything you are witnessing, past, present, and future, centrally revolve around the presidential election of 2020. Win by any means necessary, self-preservation. So wins by any means necessary. That's exactly what they done in 2020. They done whatever it took to win the 2020 election. Again, can Trump legally use military on U.S. soil? Yes. The Posse Comitatus Act. We have now learned via a whistleblower that Adam Schiff approved classified intel leaks to the media to smear Trump. And if Hillary got elected, Schiff would have become CIA director. Imagine what kind of shit they could have covered up then with Hillary elected and Adam Schiff CIA director. And
oh my gosh.
All right. So
imagine what they already have covered up.
Okay. So this is why Adam Schiff was pushing to pass HR 7297 to stop Trump from using the U.S. military to, counter what their moves usually are from their playbook, like riots and shit like that. Because I think Adam Schiff knew, and the rest of them knew that, there's a possibility back in 2017, there's a possibility that Trump could catch us and Trump could, cause some serious shit to go on. So I think that was like I think it was a back burner plan, I guess is what I'm getting at, because
it could be like a backup plan just in case.
Yeah, just in case that Trump made it this far. And Trump has made it this far. And now we're seeing him. And I've been talking about this on several shows. Trump has made it this far. And again, we seen the military get used with the Marines out in LA.
Yep.
And that's right there in what is it, Q22? Yep, Q22 says who controls the ENG? Why was the ENG recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the NG work in coordination with the Marines? Do conditions need to be satisfied to authorize? What former president used the military to save the republic? And what occurred exactly? Biggest drop ever to be on poll. Study and prepare. The masses tend to panic in situations. No war, no civil unrest, clean and swift. So we seen Trump use the military in coordination with the National Guards. And I think that conditions were right, like Big Country said a minute ago, at that point in time. Just what was that, a month ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So at that point in time, I think conditions were right for Trump to initiate that, which is the Insurrection Act, which bypasses the Posse Comitatus Act. Now Trump's federalizing troops in DC. We see that going on. And I think, my take on this is I think that it's getting the public used to the fact that Trump is going to use the National Guards in conjunction with the Marines, in conjunction with local authorities too, to quell any of this shit that the left brings up, riots, chaos, whatever in the streets. And it's getting the public used to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's got going on too. As far as the National Guard that has been deployed in DC, if I'm not mistaken, trying to think of a good way to put that, they hadn't been Mirandized. Is that correct? The only thing they could do is detain. They couldn't make an arrest. They had to wait for local law enforcement.
Yep. They were there to support local law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and I know, as far as that goes, there's been at least 120 arrests that was reported today, just in DC alone.
So just to give a little information on Q22 and what he's asking there, who controls the NG, which is the National Guards, is what Q is referred to. The National Guard is primarily under the control of the state governors, but the president can federalize them under certain circumstances. And that's what we just seen twice. We've seen it in LA and we've seen it in DC.
Absolutely.
Q22 again, Q22 asks, why was the NG recently activated? We just went over that. We've seen that in LA. But again, Trump is setting the stage and putting his chess pieces in place. And he's also, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't he started a quick response operation to go in place to using the National Guards and shit for stuff like this, civil disorder and unrest?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things Trump said in his Truth Social post was that, I can't remember if it's in the Truth Social post or a media clip, but Trump goes on to say that this whole thing with DC and they're cleaning it. It's going to be done quickly. Again, Q22, no war, no civil unrest, clean and swift. And we're seeing that play out, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. He's certainly getting the clean part down.
He is, and I don't know if you guys seen it, but he was talking a little bit about, he came on to the podium, and I thought he had a pretty good analogy from his father. The analogy from President Trump was that he told him when he was young, hey, son, if you ever go to a restaurant and you see a dirty door, he said, turn around, don't go. Because that means if the front door is dirty, then the kitchen's dirty. You don't want to eat there. And it's kind of the same thing for your nation's capital. A little bit more further into that, though, the one point that I would like to point out, especially in President Trump's favor, the difference between D.C. and L.A. is I think that he learned from his mistakes, and he's doing better in D.C. than he did with L.A. And the reason he did great in L.A. I don't take that the wrong way, guys. What I'm saying is he didn't declare a national emergency in California, so you run into some problems. But in D.C. now, President Trump recently, he declared a crime emergency in the nation's capital and ordered the mobilization of 800 National Guard troops, along with the federal takeover of the city's police force. So I don't think they're going to be able to touch D.C., no matter how much they cry about it, because he absolutely he got the national emergency or a crime emergency put out first. So you're not going to see any Democrats winning this one.
Yeah, he also doesn't have a Gavin Newsom to deal with in D.C. either.
That's right. He doesn't have a Gavin Newsom, of course.
Speaking of Gavin Newsom, did you guys see that Gavin Newsom received a Trump 2028 hat?
I did, dude. I don't know who sent it to him, but they are an American fucking patriot, and we love you, dude.
he lost his shit over it, too.
Yeah, he was trying to put it up in the media, too, like, oh, it's a threat. They're sending me a 2028 hat. Like, dude, get over yourself, bro.
He was like, mark my word, Trump's going to run in 2028. He's going to find a way.
I hope he does.
I do too.
Yeah, I hope he does too. But I mean, he's like, look at him. That's what Democrats do. They try to push a narrative based off just because some random person sent you a freaking 28 hat. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have any more information than that, but there you are pushing a narrative. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Trump's came out. He said, you know, most likely I will not run in 2028. I hope he does, but I don't know that how he could. You know, maybe he can. We'll see.
Yeah, well,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Like Trump says, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be the first time, you know, of course, I understand everything that goes with that, you know, President Trump and then election being stolen and then everything that went with that might open up a door and a possibility of him getting a third term. I'm aware of all that, but at the end of the day,
we've seen a lot of firsts since that man's been in office.
You've also got
stop there.
Yeah,
but you're all right. I would love it, no doubt, but I just don't see it.
You've also got this route too. Is you know, like JD Vance has gotten a lot of attention and a lot of support. What if JD Vance runs in 2028 and then
I'm all for JD Vance, man.
But what if he runs and then what if he ends up stepping down and then, you know, like he picks Trump as a VP and then steps down?
Well, that is the possibility. Yeah, you know, are you going to run for VP? Nobody's ever done that before. That would be pretty cool if that actually happened. You know, because that would be the only way to not be like Obama. You know what I mean? Well, behind the scenes and get a freaking third term. No, you're VP, bro.
That's funny that you
did it legally.
It's funny that you mentioned Obama because, like, Obama, remember what he said? I would love to have a third term, but be able to sit in the background and, you know, pull the strings.
And that's exactly what he got.
Yeah. In my opinion, Obama was an absolute dumbass because if he wanted that, all he had to do was run for vice president.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can.
I mean, is Trump going to one up Obama and JD run and Trump come in?
Dude, I hope with all my heart.
You know, go from VP to being president again. Like,
Trump loves being number one. I don't know.
That's
we'll see.
Possibility, but
and
anyway,
I mean, even if it's not official that he does, JD, if you say like JD Vance stepped down and Trump stepped into his place as president again, that really doesn't even happen because I mean Obama pulled the strings the whole time that Joe was in there, so why couldn't Trump do the same?
Yeah, pull the strings.
Yeah.
Just behind the scenes.
Have JD as the front man and him be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Do this.
Well, that's
do
the thing about politics, man. I mean, there's so many doors, you know, back doors that you can go through. There's so many gray areas and loopholes, you know. And the American people, you got to give it to them because over the years they've exploited almost damn near every opportunity where President Trump could have a third term. You know, the true power lies within the people.
Yeah, exactly. And look back, you know, like 27 prior first term of Trump, 2017 back. How many people would have been looking into this kind of stuff other than people who were, you know, into the whole thing with the conspiracy stuff? But how many normal Americans would have been looking into this kind of stuff back then and looking at these possibilities and paying attention to Congress? Like, I've learned more about how the government works since Trump took office than I've ever learned my whole life.
Absolutely. He's made people love politics again. Like I've said before in the show, like, you know, the Obama years and you know, you had a little bit of Bush and all. Look, nobody gave a shit about politics. That was on the back burner, dude. We check it out every now and again. We ain't watching it every day like with Trump.
Trump made politics
aside. Go ahead, Hicks.
Oh, Trump made politics great again, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But politics aside, he's made it that the American people have no choice but to, at the very least, pay attention now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Great Awakening.
Yep.
There it is. Oh.
Like we had let me scroll back up here in my notes, but we had that, we were talking about that here just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And Q talks about it. It was off the game over thing that we had on the White House. And in that drop, it says the American people and others around the world are awake. Or are awakening. Panic.
Yep.
Game over. And that us being awake is their game over.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting on that myself. You know, just like, hey, wake up! I've been following Republicans since the day I was born. I was born a Republican, you know, and I've seen all this stuff, and myself, I've been waiting for them to wake up. Like, how much do you need, you know, before you start going, hey, this is enough of the bullshit.
Again, this whole Q thing, not just Q, but this whole entire thing was a plan put into place, and it was meant to awaken the American people, just like I was talking about from 2017 back. Nobody other than the people who followed this stuff, nobody else, was, and I myself am included. I wasn't awake, but this plan that was put into place awakened people and got people paying attention to this kind of stuff and getting involved in politics. I mean, hell, I never would have thought, 2017 prior to, well, even in 2017 up through the first few years of Trump's presidency, I never thought I would have actually decided to go on out and try to make a show on multiple platforms and talk about this stuff. But here, I'm not killing it. But
where would you say it all started for you, Hex?
For me, basically when Trump back in 2017, when his campaign, when he was talking about draining the swamp and talking about the corruption. And I'm like, is this guy for real?
Yeah.
Like, is there really corruption? Like, I knew there was some level of corruption, but I didn't comprehend exactly how much it was. And he was saying that, back during this time that the corruption runs deep and wide, deeper than.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then, he got elected and got in there. And then like he kept talking about, we're fighting an invisible enemy. We're fighting an invisible enemy. I don't think, and I've heard a lot of other people have this same take on it. I don't think he was referring to COVID. I think he was referring to the deep state as the invisible enemy.
Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like it just slowly kept progressing. And then I'd found at that time, I think Parler had came out sometime around there. And I joined Parler, and I believe on Parler, if I'm not mistaken, maybe that's where I found X22. I can't remember if it's Parler or Truth Social, but I'd found X22 report and started watching it. And then that led me into Eye of the Storm show, and it led me into Red Pill 78, the Brad and Abby show, and a bunch of other shows on Badlands Media over on Rumble. And one thing led to another, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've referenced those videos 1,000 times, but I would have to say for me, it was the Fall of the Cabal videos, man. That started my dig.
Who sent you those?
Yeah. X7.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
Patriot, man. Hats off to you, dude.
Hell yeah. I have to agree with Hex, what you was speaking about, like there was this big, huge collusion. There was all this stuff going on. And this is the first time you ever heard this information. But for me, it even goes a little further back, like I said, being raised Republican and having a Republican family that raised me, even at a time when it was all Democrats, they were totally Republican. It was just, if you look at the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, it was all about rebellion against the government. You guys remember this? It was always about rebellion against the government. Then you get into this 2000 generation. You got a lot of these people, President Trump, he's speaking to this, you got this generation that starts turning over, and then they start believing this thing that I could never believe from my generation of when I was, they're trusting the government. When the fuck did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, when did that happen? So I really started getting interested because I'm like, nah, these dudes are messing up, bro. We've already been there before. Like Reagan. Hey, the worst thing you could ever hear was, hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. This is shit we was raised on. You know what I mean?
Getting ready to float that far, man.
Yeah, dude. Like we were raised on this shit. And then all of a sudden you got a generation that comes in and they're like, yeah, the government, handouts and freebies, baby. And I'm like, you're fucking idiots, bro. No. And then you get this guy that comes in, President Donald Trump, and you actually see somebody who has honest accountability for the first time in politics in a really long time. And then that just continues to grow from there. You see somebody who sees both sides of the angle and is able to go with a good moral compass and make good decisions and putting America first. Then it grows, you know what I mean? And that's what really hooked me in,
We got a quick shout out to people over on Rumble again watching. We got a few people over there watching. I want to remind everybody that there's a thumbs up. We're on Rumble, YouTube, and we were on Instagram and Facebook, but those kind of went down. But we're on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch. Go down there and smash that thumbs up. Actually, we are on Facebook. It's on my personal Facebook page.
Yep, we're on Facebook. Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, so but go down there and hit that thumbs up for us. If you're watching right now, give us a like. If you're enjoying the show, we've got a whole lot more to go over, and we're going to go down a rabbit hole tonight. That's going to be Pizzagate by another documentary by Mr. Truth Bomb over on Rumble. I will provide the link to his account again. He's an excellent guy to follow for a lot of this stuff. Love his documentaries. Me and Big Country and myself have watched a lot of his documentaries. And the other guy Big Country was referring to there, the Follow the Cabal series, is Real AF Patriot over on Rumble. He's a really good guy to follow. Give him a follow.
Yeah, go check him out.
I'd actually talked to Parabellum pre-show about a couple people, and Parabellum is actually following Real AF, I think, and couple other people.
MJ Truth Ultra, Real AF, Blue Eyes. There's a few that we put in there. So that's going to run me right into the plug for this right here. Again, we do have a Facebook group page now, guys. If you like, go ahead and join our group. And we're also on Instagram. Make sure to go in, search Same Cues, Different Views. You'll see a big, beautiful picture of Big, Beautiful Bill. That's us, Same Cues, Different Views. Make sure to like and join the group. And just to let you know, anything that you see on the show, and if you like what it is that we're reporting, that's the kind of information we're reporting. Up-to-date news, anything from Q drops to conservative news. Every little bit of it, okay, all the way down to Anunnaki. So if that's stuff that interests you, join our page.
Speaking of Anunnaki,
should I said up to Anunnaki? Sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of Anunnaki, let me we'll jump into that real quick and plug our upcoming show on September 5th, which is going to be an Anunnaki special. But
absolutely, yes.
Before I do that, for anybody new watching Same Cues, Different Views, the meaning behind it is I'm a Q guy. Parabellum doesn't follow Q. He's more logical news. And then Big Country is like a mix of us both. Big Country follows the Q stuff, and Big Country also follows a lot of logical news. So you're getting different views, different perspectives, and that's kind of
the conservative trinity, my friend.
But regardless of whether you follow Q or don't follow Q, I've said this many times on the show, we're all in this fight together. We're all on the same side. We all are going for the same thing. So, that's kind of Same Cues, Different Views in a nutshell. But anyway, we have a Anunnaki special coming up on September 5th, and we're going to have Walker, by God. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. And Big Country and my brother-in-law Josh is going to be on the show, and we're going to go over. We're going to dive down. The bulk of the show is probably going to be around the Anunnaki. We're going to dive down that and talk about that. Parabellum and myself are somewhat versed in it, so we're going to try to give some commentary in that.
Yeah,
too.
you guys ain't getting out of this one.
Yeah, I
know. I can't wait for Walker, man. He seems like he's got a tremendous amount of insight.
I had talked to him. I had talked to him today, and he's like extremely excited about this, and he was so glad that I decided to put the show off until September 5th. By the way, the reason we had put the show off, it was supposed to have been tonight, but Walker had his anniversary and wife's birthday, I think.
I'll be damned. Another anniversary.
Yeah,
one or the other going on. No, last week was the anniversary. I think tonight was his wife's birthday, he was saying, and he couldn't be on. But he said he would text if he had time to jump on, and I could send him the link. So he may jump on tonight. I don't know. If you're watching Walker, hope you're having a good time, you and your wife. And
absolutely.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Misty. But the other reason that's got put off until the 5th is next weekend. Not next weekend, but the last weekend of the month, we probably – we'll either have a pre-recorded show or no show. We've not decided yet because I will be gone. And, if you guys want to, you and Parabellum, you and Big Country want to jump on here and put a show together, you're more than welcome. You've got I'll send you the info to log into StreamYard. But if you guys want to do something, but I won't be in that last Friday of the month. I won't be in that show if they do one, or it may be pre-recorded. So September 5th
we'll
is
see how that plays out.
September 5th is when we're going to have
how it plays out, baby.
Anunnaki episode. Great. So let's take a look at our little Anunnaki promo here real quick before we move on, and we'll move into some more Adam Schiff news.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
All right. Again, September 5th. Oh, Parabellum's got some background stuff going on here. Let's just pop a mute on him real quick. But again, September 5th is our Anunnaki special, and it's going to be great, guys. Make sure you tune in and check it out. But what do you got lined up as far as you to talk about? Are you just going to kind of go with the flow and see what comes of it on that episode?
I'm just real interested to pick Walker by God's brain on everything, man.
Yep.
He's going to touch on everything from the Anunnaki right on up to the Kabbalion. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that, but you will be. But
yeah, you kind of educated me on it weekend before last when you were over here.
Yeah.
So I've got to watch. Oh, speaking of the intro there, that little clip in there, like after the emergency broadcast thing.
Yep.
I know you caught it, Big Country. Anunnaki.
Yeah, Hecklefish, man.
Yep, that was Hecklefish from the Y-Files, and that's another good show. If you guys get a chance, go watch the Y-Files, and especially watch their episode on the Anunnaki that they had, which is really good. Let me unmute Parabellum. There you are.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
But anyway, check that out.
I had Jägermeister came through the front door. I had to go make a drink. Sorry.
Also, anybody that's not familiar with the subject, if you want to brush up a little bit before the show, Law of Insights is a good channel on YouTube. Also, Ancient Anunnaki Mysteries on YouTube. Check both of those out. It'll get you up to speed. Maybe have a few good questions for us. And
hell, I may have questions.
Check them out. Yeah.
But
it's gonna be a good show.
We gotta say we finished rolling right on into some more Adam Schiff news here.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I kind of wanted to back up a little bit with this. So we were talking about Shifty Schiff, as Trump calls him.
God, what a piece of shift.
Leaking.
I hate that guy, dude.
He's a real shift bag.
Yep.
Oh, the puns.
So many.
But anyway, let's back up here a little bit. I kind of wanted to back up and give a little info on Adam Schiff and the leak of classified documents. This is a Fox News clip that I had clipped for anybody who's unfamiliar with this, but let's take a look at it here.
Tonight, California Senator Adam Schiff is being accused by a fellow Democrat.
Look at that. How'd that Pepe frog get in there? Oh, there he is again.
His office is denying those claims. Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram has all the details this evening from Capitol Hill.
Treasonous and illegal. That's how a Democratic whistleblower characterized Adam Schiff, accusing him of greenlighting the leak of classified information to undercut President Trump during the 2017 Russiagate investigation.
The president has already said he wants to see Adam Schiff held accountable for the countless lies he told the American people in relation to the Russiagate scandal.
The whistleblower was a veteran House Intelligence Committee staffer. The FBI summary obtained by Fox says Schiff told aides he would, quote, leak classified information which was derogatory to the president in hopes of scoring an indictment for the commander-in-chief.
It's beyond unseemly. This was just an egregious breach and a really reprehensible act on the part of Adam Schiff.
Schiff's office calls this baseless smears, saying the whistleblower was, quote, not reliable, not credible, and was
There's that
fired.
frog again.
Schiff was the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee as it probed possible 2016 election interference.
If the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it aided or abetted the Russians, it would not only be a serious crime, it would also represent one of the most shocking betrayals of democracy in history.
Schiff, who led the Democrats' first impeachment of President Trump, now faces an unrelated criminal investigation for alleged mortgage fraud.
Now it looks like Adam Schiff really did a bad thing. They have him.
Democrats say the GOP is trying to shift the narrative.
Look, this is nonsense. This is an effort to change the subject away from the Epstein files.
The FBI summary indicates that Schiff hoped Hillary Clinton would win in 2016. Schiff aspired to run the CIA. Brett?
Yep, we just went over that.
Yep.
Anyway, that damn Pepe frog,
Man, they got a bad frog problem.
Yeah, I think Fox News is infested with Pepes. especially that one, because that one is like really fond of Adam Schiff. He loves like
Yeah.
squeezing his head and rubbing down his nose and saying,
Yeah, he had Shifty right by the nostrils, man.
he likes saying soon.
I love it.
You better not get around no country boys that like go frog gigging. I'll tell you that.
Put a fork in his ass.
Don't you gig my Pepe. I like frog legs, but I ain't eating my Pepe.
We got to keep that one.
Yeah, them Pepe frogs are spicy, man. I can't handle it.
I tell you, man. What about that? You know, everything going on with Adam Schiff, though, dude.
So we had that came out, and then we find out on the 12th that former FBI Director Comey leaked info to the New York Times to smear Trump. And I've got a little clip of that if you guys want to check this out.
Yes.
All right, now last night we brought you. We have more major breaking news to share. Again with John Solomon, editor-in-chief, founder, chief investigator of reporter, justthenews.com, revealing tonight that an FBI investigation uncovered the fact that Mr. Higher Honor himself, James Comey, routinely leaked classified information to the New York Times through an intermediary, a friend, on the faculty at Columbia Law School. The sheer amount of leaking appears to be political, deep, dark, purposefully deceptive, and in a myriad of ways. Here with details is investigative reporter, founder of justthenews.com, editor-in-chief. All right, Mr. Higher Honor, years ago on this program, I said, you have the right to remain silent, and you might want to use it. This is a very long piece that you have here.
Yeah.
It is a worthwhile read. I'll let you sum it up, and then I want your conclusion on what you're finding here, because to me it's very damning.
Well, what you find out is that James Comey decided not to work through the FBI press office when he wanted to change the narrative in Washington, burnish his reputation against attacks from Democrats, and try to sully Donald Trump's reputation. If you remember, Democrats were mad that James Comey let out of the bag just before the election that there might be some new evidence in the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Hillary blamed Comey for throwing the election. She blamed the Russians for throwing the election. She blamed everybody but herself for throwing the election for her. But Comey was trying to rehabilitate that. And so he had an intermediary, a Columbia law professor by the name of Daniel Richman, who the FBI confirmed and interviewed. And Richmond said, yes, I used my relationship with a New York Times reporter named Michael Schmidt. He's one of the authors of the Pulitzer Prize winning package that President Trump is now suing over. And my goal was to improve negative stories about James Comey and to set a narrative, i.e. set the Russia collusion narrative. This guy worked around the official channels of the FBI press office. And at one point, the FBI noted, you met with James Comey. He gave you access to classified information. A short while later, you had a conversation with that New York Times reporter, and he ends up reporting something that appears to be classified. Did you do it? And he gives, I think, perhaps the most famous denial people will remember since Bill Clinton says it depends what the meaning of the word is when he tried to obfuscate whether he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. He says, I can say, I don't think I confirmed the information. I can say with a discount that I didn't give him the classified information. With a discount means you got to give me some room. It's an extraordinary moment. The FBI clearly had strong suspicions that this was a potential backdoor for information, maybe classified information to get out to the media with James Comey's fingerprints on it. And they didn't go much further. They didn't put Comey before the grand jury, that we can tell. They didn't appear to put this gentleman, Daniel Richman, before the grand jury. And like Adam Schiff, as we told you last night, here they have an eyewitness whistleblower who said, I was in the room when he authorized leaks of intel. These end up being a dead end again. And it's another reminder of a dual system of justice that the Justice Department had the last 6 years. These are documents that were never given to Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan confirmed that to me today. And we're just learning 8 years later, because of what KASH Patel turned over, that the FBI had all the evidence of how the false narrative of Russia collusion was spread across this country to the detriment of voters, to the detriment of President Trump's first campaign, and they did nothing about it.
It's a credit to the FBI. It's a credit to KASH Patel. It's a credit to the people that are involved in sharing this information now with the public. Do you see legal jeopardy here?
I think if Pam Bondi goes the grand jury route, that these are people that are going to be hauled before the grand jury. I want to remind people, most classified information statutes have a 5-year statute of limitations, but there is a provision that extends it to 10 years if it's willing and knowing. And there is some pretty clear evidence of a strong apparatus put in place to make these leaks occur, according to the FBI documents. I think a grand jury could go back and try to compel testimony and find out if it rises to the level of criminality. Tomorrow, though, I think we're going to take people on a new destination, which is how often did the FBI get blocked in trying to investigate Hillary Clinton corruption at the Clinton Foundation? You're going to be shocked by the answer.
We'll have you back tomorrow, John Solomon. This is unraveling very quickly. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity.
So while I was putting the show together, let me remove that from stage real quick. There we go. While I was putting the show together this week, I was thinking like how a lot of this is going to tie back into the Clinton Foundation.
Oh yeah.
And then you had him talking about that just now.
Right at the end, right there.
Yeah.
So wait till you see how many times the investigation was botched and how they just did not prosecute or go after Hillary.
Yep.
They had thumb drives. They didn't even look at them. I mean, a lot of that was reported in your mainstream media.
I don't understand, well, I do understand because they're a corrupt system, but, back then they knew this, like the Steele dossier and all this shit was bullshit. And they knew it was made up. And there was so many people going against it. You got whistleblowers coming out now.
Democratic whistleblowers, by the way. Democratic whistleblowers. Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. Democratic whistleblowers. So these Democratic whistleblowers, like the one that just came out with, was it around Adam Schiff that just came out, the whistleblower?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, there's a whistleblower, an associate.
The one that late classified information.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So the mainstream media is trying to discredit this whistleblower and saying he's not a. Actually, let me pull this up here real quick. Right there. Not a reliable, credible source.
Mm-hmm.
But then we seen in that interview there with Schiff, the first video clip we had watched there going into this, that this guy had been in the or was it the CIA or FBI it was in? I can't remember. But
I'm not sure.
He had been in there for 10 years. You're telling me they had this guy in there 10 years and letting him work, and now they're saying he's not a credible source? Bullshit.
Didn't Adam Schiff get caught for perjury on the stand?
Didn't he get what?
Didn't Adam Schiff get caught up in a lie perjury? It's been quite a few years ago.
I think they tried to get him. I don't know if it went through.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I'm not too familiar with that. It's a good possibility.
I'll try to find that.
Yeah, if you can find it, pull it up. But anyway, like I said, they're how could they have an investigation onto something they knew was bullshit? Which made me, I was thinking about that. It made me think of Q3316. And let me actually pull that up real quick. So Q3316, page 11, previously class scope RR, which is Rod Rosenstein to Mueller. The scope of the memo highlighted within Mueller's report confirms that the dossier was a tool used by Rod Rosenstein to justify SC, I think, Supreme Court, and was primarily the vehicle to which Rod Rosenstein tasked Mueller. If the dossier was known to be unverified and fake, how then was there an investigation to begin with? So then Q goes on to say at the bottom of that drop was the investigation, and this is why I think that it kept going on and kept playing out. Again, it was to take the focus off of the Hillary Clinton email server and all that shit that was going on and all the stuff with her because she was running for the presidency. But when the investigation kept, or what was the investigation kept ongoing to retain the blockade to essentially restrict POTUS from unmasking. And, again, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. What was Adam Schiff trying to prevent? So essentially restrict POTUS from unmasking the information or from unmasking and informing the public as to the truth about what really happened. Was the investigation kept ongoing to protect those who knowingly committed treason, sedition, No blockade equals game over. And that goes right exactly back to this right here. Game over. The American people are awake. But, you know,
Wow.
within all of that, like, you know, Q was telling us back in 2019 about this whole entire thing. And like I said, I think they kept it going to try to some way smear Trump, knowing it was false. There should have never been an investigation into the whole Russia collusion thing to start with, because it was all bullshit. But did you find what you were looking for there, Big Country?
I'm searching for it here. You can go ahead and roll on with what you're doing there. If I find it, I'll bring it up later in the show.
Okay. You got anything, Parabellum? We're getting ready to get into some. Let's see. Have we got into that yet?
Not into that. I do have that one Hillary video that may be going with what you're talking about here. You want me to play the first one we played earlier?
Give it 1 second. Let's run through while Big Country's doing that. This will lead us right into it right here.
All right, perfect.
This is Q 4785. Rod Rosenstein, RR's Rod Rosenstein, Tax Division, DOJ 2001 through 2005. So, all what I was trying to get at as I was putting the show together earlier this week is this is all going to lead into the Clinton Foundation shit. So back in, back then, Rod Rosenstein was appointed Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General to the Tax Division. So that's what Q's talking about there in that first line, RR Tax Division, DOJ. I think that's what Q's getting at. Correct me if I'm wrong, any Q followers out there watching the show. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just calling balls and strikes as I see them. But Q says Clinton Foundation, investigation 2001 through 2005. So back at that time, there were concerns raised regarding Clinton Foundation accepting foreign donations, and particularly Hillary Clinton's, or during the tenure of Hillary Clinton's term as Secretary of State. So the Clinton Foundations were receiving these. One second. Oh yeah. But anyway, they were receiving these foreign donations. I was trying to find my notes here, but anyway, they were receiving these foreign donations. So Q goes on to say, Clinton Foundation failure to declare foreign donations, 2001, 2003. So
Democratic playbook, baby. That's what they've been doing since the 2000s.
So you got Rod Rosenstein being appointed to the Tax Division, Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General. So the IRS reporting requirements for gifts and bequests. Who needs to report? Any U.S. person receiving large gifts or bequests from foreign sources. These gifts must be reported to the IRS on Form 3520.
Yeah.
But Hillary did not report this shit. And then Comey took over the investigation. Q says Comey takeover of investigation 2002. Director of FBI 2002, Robert Mueller. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. So,
real quick, I'm sorry, just to jump forward a little bit and we'll jump right back. You're talking about all of these donations back in 2000. There was a whole lot of questions surrounded about that for Hillary Clinton. But look into when she ran for her campaign as well. And then what happened later on with Act Blue. I don't know if you guys familiar with Act Blue?
Yeah, that's being investigated now too, ain't it?
So Act Blue, I mean, you could look it up right now. You could say Hillary Clinton and Act Blue, and they've got a webpage totally dedicated to we support Hillary Clinton's campaign for president with a contribution of $25 today, right? So I got a little 1-minute video that kind of goes a little into the Act Blue, but if you go ahead and do your point, but that kind of ties into that a little bit. So what I'm kind of trying to say is they've been doing the same thing since 2000, people. We've known it forever.
It's the same playbook over and over and over.
Democrats keep doing it. Illegal donations through Act Blue. They was investigated during Kamala Harris's investigation, right? It was Instagram disconnected the point. But they were investigated during the Kamala Harris campaign for doing illegal contributions possibly, and that's coming back up. Small donations through multiple donors who didn't use CVC codes on their credit card, which is an absolute campaign like crime. You can't do that. They got to know where it came from. But Act Blue was in that during the Kamala Harris campaign when she was running against President Trump for this term, and then they're back in the news today. So I think that ties perfectly in just to really open the picture up for you guys, how long Democrats have truly been running the fraudulent scheme and plans that they've been doing. I mean, since 2000, it's the same. If you want, I can play that video real quick.
1 second before you do,
Okay.
let me back up here. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Remove that from stage. That's what I wanted to pull up there. Okay, so FBI's role and findings, and this is in the Clinton Foundation investigation. While the FBI under James Comey investigated Hillary Clinton's use of private email server, this investigation primarily focused on handling of classified information, not the foreign donations aspect. In July 2016, Comey announced that while there were evidence of potential violations regarding the handling of classified information, his judgment was that no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges in this case.
There you go, Comey.
So they were investigating
shitbag
the donations and stuff. But right there it says it all. But anyway, pull up the clip you got there, Parabellum.
Yeah, so this goes a little bit in the future, but like I said, it really opens up the perspective of the last 20 years that we've lived with a Democratic rule, a little bit. Here we go. Act Blue in the news today.
Meanwhile, President Trump is directing the Justice Department to investigate Act Blue. This is a Democratic donation platform, and the focus as the allegations about illegal straw donors and foreign contributions. Mark Meredith is live in Washington with more. This has been brewing for a while, Mark. What do we need to know?
Dana, for years, you're right about this, but this is a big development. The White House is directing the Attorney General to investigate the Democratic Party's top fundraising platform. It's called Act Blue, and the president says he wants to know if foreign money is being donated to the group and then utilized to sway elections. Democrats are calling this probe a dangerous abuse of power. Act Blue is an enormous operation in Democratic politics. It's raised more than $16 billion since 2004. You may have seen the text pop up from candidates saying, please donate, go to the Act Blue website. Republicans use something similar called Win Red. There was a new memo signed on Thursday directing the Attorney General to investigate if foreign nationals are using the Act Blue platform to bypass campaign finance laws. Trump wants a report out in 6 months.
Okay, so am I wrong in thinking that this is kind of the similar thing with the Clinton Foundation?
I'm absolutely we're tying that together, baby. It's the exact same thing. Foreign donations. Here's what happened. So they did this back in the 2000s, right? Early 2000s. And then all you see is the evolving of their scheme and everything that the Democrats do. They've only evolved it into the digital age of moving on with an app program called Act Blue. And they've only evolved it, guys. That's the best way I can say it. They're doing the same shit with new technology. But, a big part of that, though, is...
Wait. Would you go as far as to call it same shit, different views?
Same shit, different views. I could, man. Absolutely, dude.
Sounds
but with
like
the
a good podcast.
I think it is. But with Act Blue, like I said, they were in a whole lot of trouble with the Kamala Harris campaign for accepting foreign contributions. They, under Act Blue, they did not require CBCs. Those 3 little digit codes on the back of your credit card, to be able to track who it was that was making those donations. They did not require it. There was a whole lot of shit that went with that, guys, and a big, huge investigation during that campaign, and they weaseled their way out of it. They used the last little bit of their power. But now you see Republicans in power, and we're bringing it back up, right? Yep. So I think you're going to see a little bit of accountability happen. And what I was going to say is you see this. For 20 years, the same thing's been happening, and it's only involved. And when I say the power truly lies with the people, this is exactly what I mean. The people are not stupid. We see it. We've seen it since 2000, since you've done it. We know it. We know that you're evolving it. You put it right in front of our faces and expect us to be dumbasses, you know. But this is why you see maybe a lot of Republicans that are getting frustrated these days with the lack of accountability. We're almost tired, you know, of nothing happening, and we do want that accountability. But again, with this show, you know, patience. All the ducks are in a row. The chess boards, the pieces are on the board. So let's keep going. We do understand your frustration, though.
Yep. We also had this come out. This was over on X. I seen the other day. John Solomon was reporting that multiple grand jurors outside of D.C. This was yesterday, I believe, is when I'd come across this. He doesn't give specifics, but theorizes that the grand jurors. Excuse me.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Could be related to the 2020 election.
Yes. So I've got a clip of that. Let's give it a.
Let's do this, baby, because Pennsylvania was a big one for
the way
me.
you opened your show, there's no better description of what the conspiracy is. It's a conspiracy to protect potential of Democrats from potential criminal prosecution, and then to violate the civil liberties and privacy and reputations of innocent Republicans to create an alternate story to protect political interest, meaning what's going to happen in the election. That's what it is. It's not more complicated than that. I know people say, oh, a conspiracy case is going to be complicated. No, it's really not. We protected Democrats. And the cycle is Hillary has two problems. Email, now corruption. We can prove that was active at the time. Hunter Biden's got corruption and taxes. And by the way, the first evidence of that comes in March through May of 2016. And then 2019, it's Hunter Biden a lot more. And so we impeached the president, and we have the government actually creating stories that I think we will prove were false. And then in 21, they find Joe Biden's classified documents at UPenn office in Washington and his garage, and they got to make Donald Trump look like he's the classified guy first before they can let the cat out of the bag that Joe Biden has the same problem. It's a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. And in the course of that, two potential crimes are occurring. Obstruction of legitimate investigations. Those are overt acts of a conspiracy. And then the violation of innocent people's civil liberties to create a political ruse. That is where I believe the grand conspiracy case is headed. I believe that there are multiple grand juries that have begun work around this country in multiple jurisdictions outside of Washington where evidence is now being gathered.
You do? You
I do.
Can report that, or you have reason to believe that?
Nope, I have confirmed witnesses and who've had contact with the grand jury. So there are grand jurors in multiple locations. Some of those are in Virginia. I believe one is going to begin based on early discussions in Pennsylvania. There may be one in New York.
Yes.
And so the activity has begun. And the question now is, and those are probably not going to be the indicting locations. I think the more likely thing is you use multiple grand juries just to make it easy to gather lots of information quickly. That's the way strike forces work. And then you keep working from there. But there are multiple locations where pieces of this are being looked at. And maybe the grand jurors don't even know it's a grand conspiracy, just looking at some of the overt acts in one of these chapters of this sad story. But that is going on. And I think it's going to be a process, right? It's going to be a 6-month process. I don't know the reason yet. I wish I knew. I don't know the reason. I mean, there's lots. It could be related to the 2020 election.
Yeah, that's where my mind went.
Yeah. So we don't know yet. I just know that certain witnesses have been contacted about acceptance of grand jury subpoenas, and they're in different locations. So the process is beginning, but it's a long process. And, we won't know a lot about if the Justice Department does the right thing. Unlike the Obama and Biden Justice Departments that leaked anything, the grand jury process will be unbelievably secret and will be masked from it, because that's the way the process is supposed to work. In the meantime, we have an opportunity through the Freedom of Information Act and through our purchase as reporters to go out and try to get the story for the American people so they can understand why this is going on. The Democrats who didn't care about going after a president when it was the Republican are going to start crying, this is payback, this is retribution. We need Americans to understand it's not payback and retribution. There are legitimate legal questions here.
All right.
Wow.
He was talking about the Pennsylvania election. What do you got on that, Parabellum? I know you had something.
For me, I can tell you, man. For me, and maybe it's not directly related to the video, but I will tell you that, during the election and then all the questioning of the election and everything going on, what was it, 2020 election, and Joe Biden winning, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody was talking about Michigan. Oh, Michigan flipped blue. Everybody was talking about Georgia. Oh, man, Georgia flipped blue. But for like regular everyday Americans, for me, that just understand that in Pennsylvania, fracking is their way of life. Okay.
Yep.
And Joe Biden was totally against fracking. And he came in, and you're going to tell me he gained the vote of Pennsylvania. That's where my mind went all the way through 2020. So, I did not understand Pennsylvania for nothing.
Yeah, I didn't either. None of us did. It was ridiculous. But what you're talking about there? Let's take a look at this. You want to? Actually, I don't think we really need to give it a read. I mean, it's pretty obvious. This is Pennsylvania. The election results in 2020, and you're telling me, like Parabellum was saying, and it says down here at the bottom of the drop, Pennsylvania's like, they're known for fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas, as well as various minerals like iron, stone, and gravel.
Yeah,
and that's
they're absolutely known for fracking.
That's what the Democrats were trying to shut down. And you're telling me a state that relies on all of this stuff for its income voted to have it shut down? Bull fucking shit.
I never believed it. And I still don't believe it to this day. For me, it was always Pennsylvania. There is no way. What is there, 20 or 24 electoral votes in that state? And Pennsylvania is what lost that 2020 election. To me, it never made sense. They say Michigan. Yeah, I get it. I know. We all know the story. But yeah, you got a whole lot of red in the rural areas of the people who probably do the fracking, and then you got the big cities for Philadelphia. But at the end of the day, I think that was part of the Democratic ploy to be able to kind of just, give the people bullshit to be able to pass this. But then you had 2,000 mules, right? You remember 2,000 mules, guys?
Yep.
Yeah. You got truckers that are bringing in plenty of thousands of votes that are going into Pennsylvania, baby. Like, there was so much stuff that went on with Pennsylvania, dude. Absolutely do not believe Pennsylvania went red. Then you got a John Fetterman. It gets deeper. A John Fetterman who was totally blue. Okay. And then, some crap happened to him and this, that, and other. And maybe Democrats try to push it off like, oh, he was, he got hurt and now he's a Republican. But I'm going to tell you what, maybe he's got a little bit of a heart. This guy's starting to turn a little bit red as far as I'm concerned.
The dude, in my opinion, literally went from, what's his name on Goonies? The
Sloth.
Sloth. The dude went from sloth to Einstein.
Absolutely, man. He was awake.
Hey, you guys.
And going back to what both of you were talking about, fracking being pretty much the heart of PA, that's their livelihood.
Yeah.
I worked in the oil and gas fields on the West Virginia and PA line for close to 4 years. And looking at this map that Hex has pulled,
right on.
A lot of the counties that they pulled, they're not places that fracking is active and going on. So these people didn't vote for that.
Wow. So you're talking like a lot of the fracking happens in a lot of the blue cities. Is that what you're saying?
No, just the opposite. All the fracking happens in the red areas that you're looking at. These blue counties that Biden carried, they're not concerned with it.
And like
absolutely, that's what I was saying. The rural areas where most of the where the fracking happens. Yep.
Like if you look at this map, I get that these blue areas here are possibly more higher populated than these red areas, but still, you can't make me believe it.
Dude, that basically comes down to, say you're selling bread for a living, okay, and then this government guy comes into your shop, your bread shop, and he says, "Hey, I'm outlawing yeast and you can't sell bread no more. Vote for me."
Yeah.
And then you vote for his ass. That's what Pennsylvania did, bro.
Yeah.
It don't make sense, man. The math ain't mathing, baby.
Looking at this map, I mean, it's no different than what happened with Kentucky in this past election. Biden carried, now don't hold me to this, but I want to say that Biden carried Franklin and Fayette counties in Kentucky.
Okay.
You can get the whole rest of the state, but that's the only two counties that you really need. as far as winning electoral votes.
That's a lot of the big cities. That's how it works. So you have a lot of the higher population in the big
that's
cities.
That's your Franklin and Fayette is your Lexington and your Louisville.
Election fraud was going on nationwide.
Oh yeah, your Frankfurt and your Lexington. That's basically what it's going to be. Yeah, you're going to get blue in Frankfurt and Lexington, the big cities. It's going to happen every day. But we had majority red.
And to carry this state, that's really the only ones you need because of the population centers that they have.
Absolutely. That's the Democratic playbook. That's how they try to get those. That's why they only go to big cities. And this goes into my understanding of explaining to people, if you think a Democrat cares about those rural guys and those farmers and those blue collar workers and all those people, and there's so many of them in comparison to those big cities, all them people that do those blue collar jobs. If you are somebody that's out in that red area and you're voting blue, you are more mixed up than anybody I ever met in my life, because if you think they care about you, you're wrong. They only go to big cities. That's how they do their Democratic campaigns. That's the way it will always be. And that's how it's been for the last 20, 40 years for Democrats. They don't care about rural America.
Man, you can look nationwide. Your blue collars are in your red counties.
Yeah.
We had talked about this. I think it was.
Here's the thing, though. I apologize, Hicks. I'd say one last point. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The difference between rural and those large cities, here's what something a lot of people may not put together, is the rural compared to the large cities is in the rural area, you're going to find a lot of your low income and middle income families. Absolutely. What do you find in your blue cities? High income families, the rich.
Yeah.
So what Democrats only go for the rich. Go ahead, Hex. I'm sorry.
What else I was getting ready to get at with these blue counties and blue states is we talked about this. I think it was like an episode or two ago. We had talked about this and talking about the illegals coming in and where were they busing them to and why were they busing them there?
Oh yeah, a lot of big cities.
Yep.
To be able to gerrymander.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They were giving them the right to vote and
sanctuary cities, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
they tried to send him to a lot of red states too, though. You had DeSantis, you know what I mean? He was like, he did a lot of great stuff.
They bust them
send him here, bitch.
They bust them fuckers out to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, dude. Like, we ain't gonna put them in your district. They ain't gonna be in our district.
This ain't my trash. Pick it up and leave when you leave.
We'll put them in your backyard. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was awesome that he done that. But let's look at the. I got some election fraud video here from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That
okay.
A local news station there, I think is what it's from, had covered. Let's check it out.
2,500 voter registration applications that had been dropped off here at the administration building on 2 occasions last week, basically at the deadline to drop them off at the end of the day. And they noticed some irregularities with these voter registration applications. The DA says it stems from a canvassing operation last summer that set up at parking lots as well as shopping centers around the county.
While preparing to process these applications, staff noticed that numerous applications appeared to have the same handwriting, were filled out on the same day with unknown signatures, and some were previously registered voters, excuse me, and the signatures on file did not match the signatures on the application. Lancaster County detectives began investigating the voter registration applications and immediately found applications that were indeed fraudulent. Indicators of fraud included inaccuracies with the addresses listed on the applications, false personal identification information, as well as false names. A number of the applications also contained names that did not match the provided Social Security information. In some cases, applications contained correct personal identification information, such as the correct address, correct phone number, date of birth, driver's license number, and Social Security number. But the individuals listed on the applications informed detectives that they did not request the form, they did not complete the form, and verified that the signature on the form was not theirs. At this point, it is believed that the fraudulent voter registrations are connected to a large-scale canvassing operations for voter registrations that date back to June. The majority of the applications were from residents in the city of Lancaster. However, applications were also received from residents in Columbia, Elizabethtown, Mountjoy, Akron, Ephrata, Stevens, Strasburg, as well as other locations across Lancaster County. During this preliminary investigations, detectives were able to verify some of the applications were indeed legitimate. In these instances, the applicant verified that they did provide information to a canvasser. For these applications, we will immediately advise voter registration and that we confirm that they are legitimate requests, and voter registration will process that application. Thus far, of the investigations that we have completed, we have determined that 60% have been fraudulent. Thankfully, we stopped part one, right? That was getting the voter on the books that perhaps shouldn't have been. But part two is whether or not anyone intended to turn that application then into a fraudulent vote.
Anyone who tries part two, potentially, we're going to find you. This is not right. It's illegal. It's immoral. And we found it, and we're going to take care of it.
And she was never seen or heard from again.
Anyway, that's a little bit into the Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
60%.
Yeah.
Damn. Over half.
Yep. Fucking crazy. Signatures not matching up. Again, tell me Joe Biden legitimately won Pennsylvania. Make me believe it.
No.
But something that come out today. Well, actually, I got a clip here of Kash Patel talking about the burn bags, but I don't know. I don't think I think everybody knows the burn bags by now. We probably don't really need to get into that. But Kash Patel had released this declassified document. Parabellum, you were talking about it earlier.
Oh yeah.
Let me see.
See which one you're talking about. There's so many now. It's like it's all coming out, baby.
This was one today. I was trying to find what I had on stage here. Trying to clean my stuff up to add stuff to stage. What do we got on the stage? Oh, we got the video on stage. That's what it is. Okay, remove. There we go. All right. So it was this. I wish I could make that bigger. How do I make that bigger?
I think that's as big as it gets. The only way that you could do it is Control Plus to make it bigger before you save it.
But anyway, it's Clinton Foundation. MJ Truth Ultra had posted this. Actually, let me just share this tab instead.
They redacted the shit out of that.
Yeah. But But MJ Truth Ultra over on X had posted this, and here is the declassified timeline on Hillary Clinton Foundation investigation. We'd come across this a little bit earlier, and I kind of wanted to toss it into the show too. But 2017 memo declassifies FBI Director Kash Patel. Released in 2017 memo exposes deliberate political sabotage of the 2016 Clinton Foundation. Bombshell Yates shut down. Demand Deputy AG Sally Yates without any explanation whatsoever. Ordered. Damn this.
Agents. I got you. Yeah. I can read it.
Okay, go ahead. It
ordered agents to shut it down in March 2016, inexplicably derailing the probe into alleged Clinton Foundation corruption. Bombshell. McCabe's iron grip. Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe repeatedly blocked investigative steps without his approval, strangling the probe's progress. DOJ's early sabotage by February 2016. The DOJ signaled refusal to support the investigation, with New York prosecution stonewalling by August. Pay-to-play evidence was ignored. The probe targeted potential pay-to-play schemes, with evidence linking foreign and U.S. donors to favors from Hillary Clinton's State Department. Investigation dragged and buried roadblocks, delayed the probe past the 2016 election, the DOJ citing statute of limitations to justify closure. Another bombshell, FBI's double standards. While the Clinton probe was smothered, the FBI aggressively chased the unfounded Trump-Russia collusion narrative. And the Justice in Motion Attorney General Pam Bondi's new strike force, she created a new strike force and grand jury, backed by current and former agents, now probes these laws' enforcement abuses.
And again, guys, if you want to look at that document, I tried to pull it up here on the screen, but it's too small. But you can go to MJ Truth Ultra over on X, at MJ Truth Ultra. and you can look at that document he's got on there, and it's got all of this within it. You can read about it. But
I've
anyway,
got the
just
video of John Solomon speaking about that as well, talking about Yates.
all right, go ahead. Let's give it.
So
a play.
here's a little video that kind of sums up what it was that we just read to you guys. And
let me remove. There we go.
Go ahead.
Tonight, we're going to tell you about the other Clinton investigation, one that was running in 3 separate FBI offices, New York, Washington, and Little Rock. It was a predicated criminal investigation that was examining whether Hillary Clinton ran a pay-to-play scheme that delivered favors from her perch as Secretary of State, while foreigners and others paid large sums of money to her family foundation, the Clinton Foundation, run by Bill Clinton and their daughter, eventually Chelsea Clinton. 3 separate agencies, 3 separate bureaus, offices of the FBI believe they had predicated evidence to pursue that. Every time they tried to move the ball down the road in the shadows of the 2016 election, they got shut down. I mean, they got shut down at the highest levels of their agency. Andrew McCabe, the deputy director, a man who potentially had a conflict of interest with Hillary Clinton. His wife got money from Hillary Clinton's former campaign chair to run for a Virginia state Senate. And by the way, McCabe attended the meeting where that assistance was solicited. He eventually was conflicted out, but not before he gave the order to his agents that you won't investigate or do anything on this unless I approve it. Downstream from them, 4 different U.S. attorneys' offices under Barack Obama were asked for help by the agents. Agents need help. We need a grand jury. We need to get evidence. We want to move the case down the road. All 3 of those 4 offices told the agents, you're on your own. We will not assist you in your pursuit of criminal charges against Hillary Clinton. And then perhaps the most extraordinary statement in the document that we are going to show you on screen now, they can put it up as you're looking here. The Deputy Attorney General for Barack Obama, Sally Yates, explicitly told the FBI, shut it down, meaning the corruption probes of Hillary Clinton. Think about this. While Donald Trump was out on the campaign trail chanting, lock her up, maybe there was a good reason to lock up Hillary Clinton, he would argue every night, the Obama Justice Department was telling the FBI agents who also thought there might be a reason to lock up Hillary Clinton, shut it down. Remember those words. We have a lot more up for you. In a second, we're going to bring in Senator Ron Johnson, someone who's been instrumental in exposing so much of this incredible, dirty scheme in Washington. But one last piece of note before I bring in Amanda. We have now confirmed tonight there are some prosecutors who have come forward and are willing to cooperate with Attorney General Pam Bondi and, of course, FBI Director Kash Patel, who found this document. He found this document based on some whistleblowers that Justin News had. He went and got it. He has other emails that he's going to be turning over to Congress that I think will further this narrative. This is the beginning, but we told you this was a double-headed scandal. The first part was pursuing false allegations against Republicans. The second was forming a protection racket around Democrats like Hillary Clinton and Biden family and others, Joe Biden himself, when it came to classified documents.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe that sums it up and puts it in perspective for the viewers.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what else we got here. Actually, I think we're coming right up on the end of the show.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do have a little bit of breaking news that happened with Vladimir Putin and President Trump in the meeting today.
Let's hear it.
All right.
All right, here we go, baby. Breaking news. Let me play that out real quick. Just came in.
You have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election. But mail-in voting, Sean, the politicians, I think I'm going to make it a big, I know the answer is that Jimmy Carter, years ago, along with Scoop Jackson and some others, they had a committee, respected people, good committee, Jimmy Carter, good guy. You know, he's a good man. And the conclusion was you can't have mail-in voting. We have mail-in voting. It's so dishonest. They send stuff. Some people get 7 ballots. Look at California with that horrible governor they have. He's one of the worst governors in history. He's incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing. They send out like 38 million ballots. Some people get 5, 6, 7. But Vladimir Putin, smart guy, said you can't have an honest election with mail-in voting. And he said there's not a country in the world that uses it now.
Oh, I would love to see election reform.
Well, we have to do it. I don't know why we're not doing it.
No,
and you bring it up. The Democrats don't want it. Look, the Republicans want it, but not strongly enough. I mean, they got to want it strong because it can't be honest. It goes through a postman. It goes through somebody else. You know, when you go to a really well-run voting booth, you go in. You have to hand a card, a picture, or this or that. You don't have everything perfect. You get sent back. Go get it. It's very hard to do something fraudulent with a vote.
Paper ballots.
Mail-in voting, they give you boxes of stuff. You have no idea where they came from. This mail-in voting, you can't have a great democracy, republic. You can't have it. Well, maybe that's why we're going to end up with a communist mayor in New York. I don't know. He probably is very happy with mail-in voting. But you can't have a great democracy with mail-in voting.
Voter ID, signature verification, chain of custody controls, updated voter rolls, partisan observers watching the voting all day, the vote counting all night. You do paper ballots, you pick a winner, and everyone goes home with confidence in the integrity.
For 10% of the cost.
Yeah.
So if you do paper ballots, it costs you 10% the cost of machines.
Let me ask you this. The Trump doctrine. I have.
Yeah. You're muted, Parabellum. You are muted, Parabellum.
The irony of that is insane, dude. So what I'd like to bring you back to, and the reason that I felt that was so important, is that on tonight's show live, we're speaking about Pennsylvania, 10,000 mules. We're talking about ballots being tracked over into Pennsylvania. Or I'm sorry, 2,000 mules, sorry. And maybe I've had a few drinks, you see more numbers. But we're literally talking about a fraudulent election in Pennsylvania. And President Trump at the same time today is having a meeting, right, with President Putin. And this is right after the meeting with President Putin. And this is one of the first things that he's talking about is voter ID and getting rid of mail-in ballots. Dude, is that not insane?
I'm telling you, I think Trump has, and I've been hitting at this. I think Trump has been working with Putin for a long time to bring down this deep state corrupt system. Not just me. There's many other anons out there who follow Q who, kind of think the same thing because Russia going into Ukraine.
Yeah.
Big country. You know what that was all about. It was taking down the child trafficking rings that was in there. It was taking down the chemical weapons plants that was in there.
Ukraine's known to be the most corrupt country of all.
And on top of that, that's where the deep state funnels. That's where they were funneling a lot of their money. If you remember back,
it's their piggy bank, man.
Yeah. What was it?
That was Hunter's piggy bank.
It was just a couple years, just a couple years ago, and we talked about this on a previous show. Just a couple years ago, they had busted Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX. The Democrats were funneling money through FTX. FTX was in turn, or wait, I may have this backwards. They were sending money to Ukraine, I think is what it was, and then Ukraine was putting it into FTX, and FTX was funneling it back into the Democratic Party, and they were laundering money. So it was money laundering, child trafficking, and biochemical weapons, and that's why Putin went into Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know that. They're just now finding out this kind of stuff about the whole Ukraine-Russia war. And like I just now said, I think Trump has been working with Putin for a long time. I'd love to know what was in that damn soccer ball that was handed off from.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, you got to think about it, man.
There's a thumb drive in that baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. You even think about it, man. Nobody likes to think of Vladimir Putin's side of things. I get that. But, Joe Biden, won the election, highly contested. how do you think, with all the files that we've released today, talking about, files with Comey, Clapper, Christopher Wray, the Steele dossier, everything that's going on, and this entire time, Vladimir Putin's sitting over there going, "You sons of bitches," you know what I mean? Like, does anybody ever actually think about that? I'm not making excuses for Vladimir Putin, not at all, but I'm just saying, do you have an open enough mind and perspective to go, well, I can kind of see like somebody going, "What the fuck," So what about that, dude? It's insane. And then he comes and he meets President Trump, and then, seems like, and President Trump just came out with some more breaking news, and he said, if I had to gauge today's meeting with Putin between 1 and 10, I would definitely gauge it a 10. So apparently it may have went well, ladies and gentlemen. More information to follow on that.
Yep. I can't wait to see what comes of this whole entire meeting with him and Putin. I think it's going to be really good stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I want to pull this up real quick before we get into the rabbit hole segment of the show, which is the rabbit hole is going to be us closing the show. Again, guys, we've got some Pizzagate stuff by Mr. Truth Bomb that we're going to go into. I'll provide the link here shortly for Mr. Truth Bomb's Rumble channel. Go follow, give him a follow. Big Country and myself have followed him for a while. Really good stuff, but we're going to get into his Pizzagate stuff in the rabbit hole segment. But I wanted to pull this up real quick. It's It's Q 4011. Crossfire Hurricane, Crossfire Typhoon, Crosswinds, Class 1 through 99, unsealed, unreleased, redacted. You didn't think POTUS's statement, the calm before the storm, was just random, did you? Transparency brings accountability. And we are seeing a lot of transparency right now with this government place that's in system. They're showing us a lot of stuff. And if you guys remember when Trump took office, he had gave that speech and it was on the news, and I've got a clip of it here, and he was talking about this is the calm before the storm. So let's give it a little bit of a play and check this out.
This represents, well, maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm, Mr.
We have the
President?
world's great military people in this room. I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all.
I love this.
Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Give us a hint on your answers.
Thank you, everybody.
What storm, Mr. President? You'll find out. And I think that's what we're seeing. And everybody right now is waiting on drop 55 to come into play, which drop 55 says, my fellow Americans, exactly this. Look to Twitter. The storm is upon us. Exactly, Big Country.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we don't know if Trump's going to make that post or if Dan Scavino or somebody else is going to make that post. But everybody's looking for that post to happen to let us know that the storm is upon us from the Q drops.
Well, absolutely. I think something that ties with that perfectly, what you was talking about in the Q drop, transparency leads to accountability. You have the video that we have now, Kash Patel coming out today and talking about we are slowly drip, dropping information and briefing America.
I forgot about that.
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's the perfect time to play that video so you get Kash Patel. He's coming out today, and he literally tells the American people, we are the most transparent administration in America. We're spending as much time as we can to be able to regain accountability for the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency, and we're going to do that through transparency. Anyway, here we go, Kash Patel.
But there's been a lot of talk and a lot written about the investigation into a grand conspiracy. To the extent possible, what can you tell us about that? In other words, that this is long-standing. If it is, in fact, a grand conspiracy, the statute of limitations would be eliminated. Is that what the investigation is about?
Well, Sean, what we're doing is building a case for the American public under the Truth and Transparency and Accountability Initiative. And what I mean by that is AG Bondi brilliantly highlighted our partners, Director Ratcliffe at the CIA and Director Gabbard over at the DNI. We are working with them because the documents that would facilitate an investigation of this magnitude don't just rest at the FBI and DOJ. They're throughout the intelligence community. And we, the Russiagate guys like Johnny Ratcliffe and myself who investigated this and exposed this, are trying to expose documentation that we've known existed for years. At the same time, we're finding new material. So the best approach is to release this information with them and also go to our colleagues in Congress who have an oversight function on the judiciary committees and oversight committees and demand from us information and documentation that we can publicize. Things like the Durham Annex, which we've known have existed this entire time, but were classified for political reasons. We are educating the American public as we build through this transparency initiative. And where the investigation goes, I can assure you of this. We will max accountability for the American public. We delivered before when we ran the Russiagate investigation. I now happen to be President Trump's choice for FBI director, and I'm honored to lead that charge with our great partners in Johnny Ratcliffe and our great Attorney General and the prosecutors they have over there who are just as committed to justice as everyone should be, blindly so. We are going to de-weaponize the FBI and get its credibility back to the American people by delivering the accountability they need, by showing them what we're doing every step of the way. That has never been done before. Here's the beauty of it, Sean. You don't have to trust me or trust you. That's all, everything you recited, the summary you just gave, is years of excavating documents that these deep state actors held and buried and documented their own corruption because they were arrogant enough to think no one would ever find it, that Donald Trump would never become president
There you go.
and appoint a cabinet
Arrogance.
to go in and investigate this matter thoroughly. And when you start connecting the dots, here's what I learned, Sean, when I ran the Russiagate investigation. As bad as the crime is, the corruption cover-up from senior government officials who are sworn to uphold their duties and accountability for the American public, they are the ones that violated that trust the most internally and need to be held accountable. So the people you've listed and the names you're calling out aren't surprises. Their names are on those documents. Those documents are public. The FISA's public. The 302s are public. The Strzok page texts are public. Documents are being released weekly by Johnny Ratcliffe and Tulsi, making it public. The burn bag information is coming out. The Durham Annex is coming out. The classified appendix is coming out. The American people are going to see and hear the names themselves, and they can touch and feel it. As far as what my investigators are going to do, these guys are the best in the business, and we've assembled a team of accountability, and we're going to deliver for the American people like never before, because that's what the American people elected Donald Trump to do.
There you go, guys. So Kash Patel summed it up perfectly for me.
Okay. While I was watching that, I kind of did a dig on the fly and saved a cue drop that kind of ties right into a lot of what he's saying and a lot of what we're seeing right now. Before I pull this up, I want to say that, and I think I'd said this on a previous show too. Again, I hate to keep saying that, but I say a lot of shit over and over. But back during Durham's investigation, the news was like, "Oh, this is a nothing burger," nothing's going to come of it. And and a lot of people I talked to at that time were talking about, "Oh, Durham's not finding anything. Nobody's being found guilty. There's no accountability," and all this kind of bullshit. And I kept telling people at that time that it's not about Durham getting a conviction. It's not about Durham getting accountability. It's about building a foundation for what's to come. And this Durham stuff, back then I was saying this Durham stuff is going to come back into play. Just give it time. When Trump takes office again.
Absolutely.
And I had people tell me Trump's not going to take office. I had a lot of left-wing people on my old Facebook account. They're like, "Oh, looks like your buddy Trump's going to jail and blah, 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 blah." And, he's not going to take office again.
Done it to him twice.
Yeah. So
they're mad about it, dude.
I kept saying this Durham stuff is going to come back into play. Just give it time. Trump takes office again. This Durham stuff's going to come back around. Then we had Kash Patel, find the burn bag. And then stashed in a freaking janitor closet or whatever the fuck it was there. And at the FBI. Shit they were going to destroy. And within that burn bag was the Durham Annex.
Yeah.
So with what he's getting at in that and the whole Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Democratic whistleblowers that are coming out. You know, it kind of goes with that.
Yep. So what he's getting
who put
at,
them burn bags there? You know.
again, like he talks about Durham in that. He talks about like a slow drip in the flood. But Q3784, D class COC POTUS to Barr to Durham, which Barr is Bill Barr.
Yeah.
Classified in intel provided 5E, non-5E. 5E and that's Five Eyes. If anybody knows what that is, that's the 5 countries, intelligence gathering, that kind of thing. But as needed. Does Durham want to freeze public D class due to criminal nature of public probes? Think GJ material. When did the Durham investigation or when did the investigation begin? When did the investigation really begin? Nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing. Slow drip to a flood. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're getting slow drips, and eventually there's going to be a flood of information. And I still firmly believe that all this is going to tie right back into Epstein, Pizzagate, and all that stuff, because again, back to Adam Schiff doing what he was doing back then with the Posse Comitatus Act and trying to stop shit, and all of them doing the shit they done, and as hard as they went after Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they go after Trump as hard as they did? Why did they try to assassinate him? Why have they tried to, case after case after case with Trump, unsuccessful? Why did they try that hard? Because
they knew he'd expose them.
Yeah, exactly. They knew he would expose them. They knew he would expose their pedophilia ring, their child trafficking ring, and all the corruption they've done and the lies that they have told to the American people over the years. And my wife and I were having a conversation last night about Obama and Hillary during that election. And I hate to say it, I was uninformed. I was still asleep at the time, but I voted for Hillary. I didn't vote for Obama.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I
Lord, touch him. I can't reach him.
Well, again, you got to look. At that time, I wasn't awake. I didn't understand what was going on.
No, I get it.
And I voted for Hillary. God save my soul for doing that. I voted for Hillary. But what I was telling my wife last night is it didn't matter who you voted for at that time. So you go to Taco Bell, right?
Nope.
Okay, so when you go to Taco Bell, and I made this analogy at work a while back, when you go to Taco Bell and you order, whether it be a taco, whether it be anything on their menu, it doesn't matter what you order.
I know where Hex is going with this one. Choice is an illusion, man.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same damn thing. Yes, I got you. Yeah, I worked there. I know.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's all the same.
Yep, it was the same with the elections prior. Every president after Reagan up to Obama, it didn't matter who you voted for. It was the choice of illusion that they gave you. They made themselves look like they were against each other, but they were not. It didn't matter who you voted for. They were all on the same freaking side.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, like that Q drop right there is pretty much a lot of what he was talking about, Cash, in that video clip you played with Durham and the slow drip.
Yeah, absolutely. Cash just totally summed it up, man. What's happened in the last few months, I'm a little disappointed. I have to say, you did so many Q drops tonight, and there wasn't a single D in parentheticals for me to hear you say D. D's. Yeah, because I totally had I was waiting for you to read a Q drop and say D's, and I was going to go.
D's nuts.
Got him. I was waiting, bro. Every single Q drop. Okay.
Q was not referring to these nuts. Q was referring to these Democrats.
Hey, I was locked, cocked, and loaded, bro. I was ready to go, man.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get to get any badass clips. Did you get to get any badass clips, Parabellum?
I've only got one that I consider a badass clip, but it was Janine Pirro talking about the Subway sandwich incident. Did you see this?
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, let's pull it up. That's the badass clip we got for the night. Then we'll jump into the rabbit hole.
So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again.
And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners like FBI, ATF, DEA, or Park Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
There it is, man. I'm pretty sure she meant shove that footlong up your ass. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotta love her, dude. Janine Pirro, she's been in the news this week and just getting absolutely savage. And you know Trump loves a dog. And I think she's quickly becoming a dog, dude. She is just ravaging people for accountability, and I love it.
I'll just say I've never been so mad that I've wanted to hit somebody with my Subway sandwich.
Dude, that's a Democrat for you. It's like, yeah, I'm really going to hurt you. 12-inch turkey, fucking chicken bacon ranch, bitch. Fucking,
not me. I'm thinking this is my fucking food.
Yeah, I know, right?
I ain't going to waste this.
Man, I'm pissed.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, what's so funny about this, man, is what happened with this is there's the video that's out there, and I'm sure a lot of the people have seen it. I wasn't able to get the video of the liberal that smacked a freaking. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was actually a DOJ employee. Yeah. It was a DOJ employee. So smacked him with a Subway sandwich. I would say that's pretty liberally gay. But anyway, it brings me back to, prison or military or anything like that. Anybody, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but anybody that's ever done some jail time, if you spit on a corrections officer or if you hit them, I guarantee you will get, for many of years this has been going on, you will get 1 year to 5 years added to your sentence. Okay, do you know how many people that are in general population and they get years added to their sentence? I've seen it happen time and time again. If you spit on one of those correctional officers, you get an extra year to your time of whatever it is you're serving. So I love to see the accountability coming out of Janine Pirro. So she's putting it all the way across the board. That is what I'm really about.
Subway sandwich. Somebody would have smacked me with a Subway sandwich. I'd have been like,
yeah,
Capicola.
Dude, you could fart on a correctional officer, and if they wanted to, they could charge you a year. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't been playing with this shit forever, but for some reason in mainstream media and with liberals and Democrats and all of their agenda and the shit they're promoting, people have been able to get away with it for entirely too long. But you got regular people like you and me and people who may have got a DUI and then end up, maybe they're drunk and they hit an officer while they're in the drunk tank. Guess what? You just got a year added onto your sentence, buddy. You went from a drunk tank overnight stay to 1+, baby. It's been happening for years.
Yep.
So, nobody is exempt. Nobody is above the law. I think that's the thing that we've been saying in the Republican Party. And I'm glad to see it because I've lived it. I've seen it.
Yep. Before we jump into the rabbit hole segment here, I just want to remind everybody again, there's a thumbs up down there. Please go down and hit that thumbs up on whatever platform you're watching us on. Let us know you like the show. We got live chat. We're watching the chat. So if there's something you want to say, you can, put it in live chat. And if we get a second to read it, we will try to comment on it or, what have you. But same cues, different views. That's what the show's about. We've got, again, I want to remind everybody on the 5th of September, we've got our upcoming rabbit hole segment around the Anunnaki. And I will play that one more time real quick to give everybody a little heads up on the Anunnaki segment we've got coming up.
Right on.
We're going to have Big Country, Walker by God, and my brother-in-law, Josh, on the show. And we're all going to start kind of hashing out and discussing some of this Anunnaki stuff. Again, they are bigger on this stuff than me, myself, and Parabellum are. But it's going to be a good show. Tune in September 5th and watch this show. Let's give this little promo a play here real quick, and then we'll jump down the rabbit hole.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I freaking love
Yes.
Hecklefish.
Absolutely. It's
Again,
great,
that
man.
little
Love the intro.
Anunnaki voice that you heard in there was from Hecklefish from the Y-Files. Go over on YouTube, look up the Y-Files, and give them a follow, and check some of their stuff out. Especially their Anunnaki episode, it's really good. Hecklefish is hilarious. You'll love Hecklefish. If anybody don't know what I'm talking about with Hecklefish, just watch the show and you'll see what Hecklefish is and what he's all about. But great show. I had to include Hecklefish in our Anunnaki promo because to me that's iconic with the Anunnaki. It's Hecklefish going Anunnaki.
Josh will love it.
Yeah.
Has he seen it yet?
Yeah, he's already seen the whole entire promo after I finally finished it and polished it. Or not the promo, but the intro. He's seen it after I finished it and polished it. He loves it. But anyway, we're going to jump down the rabbit hole because, again, what are these people? Why are they trying to cover their tracks? Because of child pedophilia and human trafficking and shit like that.
Yep.
So let's
absolutely. Hey, I was going to tell you real quick. I apologize. I may not be able to go down the rabbit hole. I may have to sign off early tonight, but I did want to do maybe possibly a little rumble rant here, real quick as my signing off, if that's okay.
Okay.
So one of the big things that I've had a problem with, guys, is that you have, and we've talked about it multiple times on the show, the Republican Party asking for that accountability. Look, we understand why you want that accountability. We've asked, exuberate patience and this, that, and another. But, if you really take a look at all the information that's came out in the last, 5-6 months, right, under the President Trump's administration, you've got Tulsi Gabbard, okay, just came out here recently, and she is talking about voting machine fraud. There was things that came out that said they're totally hackable. And that's Tulsi Gabbard talking about it. And I'll bring you all the way back to Sidney Powell, who totally got creamed for bringing up this information back in the day.
A long list of things that were investigated.
Right there, man, talking about voter fraud that might be in the machines. You've got Tulsi Gabbard also coming out talking about starting an investigation into Anthony Fauci, okay?
But the thing that we are working
19, you've got Janine Pirro on the Subway sandwich, okay? You've got Nancy Pelosi, Caroline Leavitt, absolutely shredding her in public media for her insider trading.
The idea to put a ban on stock
Portfolio grew 70% in a year and absolutely defeated all of the major top firms and even Warren Buffett's hedge funds.
What? Wait.
Perfect. My lips stuck to my teeth. Warren Buffett killed them, man. Like 70% portfolio growth. That's unheard of. She makes more money with insider trading than anybody, literally anybody. President Trump made comments about it too. You got Comey, you got the 2016, 20 election files, the whistleblower, the leaks that came from that. You've got Act Blue, the Hillary Clinton emails, all of this stuff that's coming out. This is a lot of information that's came out in the last month. And then you got Kash Patel summing it all up with a drip, drip, drop, talking about, we're just preparing the American public, and we're doing it slowly but surely through the drip, drop method. To all of the Republicans, all of the Republicans that are maybe a little still frustrated about where's the accountability. Even Charlie Kirk came out and he said, I love the Conservative Party, but we really need something to happen, because if accountability doesn't happen, then you're going to lose a whole lot of favoritism in the Conservative Party. You may lose people. But everything that I just mentioned, is that not the beginnings of accountability?
Yep.
Is that not the wheels turning?
I think so.
Is that not stuff happening, guys?
The calm before the storm.
it baffles me, that people have all of this information that's put out to them over a certain period of time. And yet it's so easy to forget that this information's been put out. And the only thing you want is what happens at the end. I want the consequence. You know what I mean? I want to see them behind bars. Yep. But that's the thing about conservatives. They put their ducks in a row, bro. And it's happening.
Yeah. And I get it. Like people screaming for accountability and they want to see people behind bars, but
we all do.
I can't stress this enough. We're not going to have accountability right now, people, because we still have corrupt judges in place. We still have a corrupt system still in place that needs to be taken out. We're not going to have accountability until we have a clean house, a clean system, like Q says, a clean house.
Absolutely.
Then once we have our chess pieces all in place, then we can have accountability and a clean house. And I had made this comment the other night or last weekend on the show. In my opinion, I don't think we're going to see some accountability start happening until around midterms of next year, or maybe a little bit after midterms of next year.
I believe so.
Because you've got all these grand jurors that have to be put in place, and then case information has to be reviewed.
And it takes time.
It's going to take time. Be patient, people. We're sick. Again, another thing I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but we're only 6 months, just a little over 6 months into Trump's presidency. And look what we've got so far. It's been fucking epic. Give it time. Give it fucking time.
Absolutely. Here's the thing, that I'd like to bring up is look at the difference of when Democrats were in power and then when Republicans are in power. So we've just recently gained in the last 6-7 months. We've got the House, the Senate, and the presidential seat, correct? So a lot of this information we've sat on for years and we're pissed off, right? We want accountability, and we've known this shit since 2017. We've known this shit since
but the rest of the world hasn't.
But the rest of the world hasn't, right? Because Democrats are able to suppress it in the media, right? So, I mean, we've known it forever, but here's the difference. For many years, Democrats were in power, and Sidney Powell, like I said, was the prime example of exactly what I'm trying to talk about. Look what happened to her when she came out and she tried to drop the information that we're dropping today just on the platform. Whistleblower leaks, Russia collusion, it's fake. We got unsealed documents, MLK, JFK, all this stuff that's happening, bro. Like, if that shit would have never come out under a Democratic administration. And if you tried, they had the power. And Sidney Powell destroyed.
Again, look at the Clinton.
Rudy Giuliani destroyed. He came out and said too much at the wrong time, and that's what I'm kind of getting at.
Look at Bannon. Look at Peter Navarro.
Bannon? Yeah, Pete Navarro. All these people. That's the difference, is what I'm saying, is that you went through all those losses, those casualties of war, right?
If you try to have accountability right now and try to take these people to court, and I've said this again,
you're in a better position today than you were 5 years ago, but you're still not ready.
I keep finding myself saying I said this before, but I've said this before. Because it's true. If you have these nuts, but if you have accountability right now, if you try to take try to push this and have accountability right now, it's not going to go anywhere, people, because we still have a corrupt system in place. These judges are going to dismiss evidence, deny witnesses, and nothing's going to happen. We've got one freaking shot at this. Let's get it right. Let's have patience. Let's get it right.
You still see it happening today, but because we're in power, we can change bills. We can push it to the House, the Senate. And like you said, things may happen after the midterms, because then it'll be totally established.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. After the midterms, it'll be totally established. You will be able to get majority. The redistricting, the gerrymandering, all that's going on within the Republican Party to be able to gain 5 more Texas seats, for the GOP. And then, you got even another thing that I mentioned earlier, we didn't mention it, was Letitia James and Adam Schiff actually being investigated for mortgage fraud.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but with the gerrymandering, that's, you're literally watching 5D chess. And I say that's accountability, ladies and gentlemen.
If you go back and watch, if you go back and look at the slide I'd pulled up earlier in the show, and then watch last week's episode too, when I was talking about Adam Schiff, and I was talking about that Q drop with the Posse Comitatus Act and stuff like that, and the bill Adam Schiff was trying to pass.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of funny to me that when I looked that up, that bill also in 2023, a version of that bill was about mortgage and home buyers shit.
Yeah.
And then Adam Schiff's being investigated for mortgage fraud. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. For the same thing that they pointed their finger at Trump for.
Yeah.
Listing a residence as your primary residence, and it was not your primary residence, so you could do tax evasion.
But anyway, anybody got anything else before we jump into the rabbit hole?
No, that's it. You can go ahead and jump in the rabbit hole. I do want to say, Big Country, does it look like Hex 7's going fishing with that vest?
Just a little. I was looking for a couple of lures hanging off of it.
I was looking for those lures too, dude. I was like, that's how you got your lady, bro. She got stuck.
Like I told you pre-show, this isn't a vest. This is actually.
I know.
It was a long sleeve. It was a long sleeve shirt at one time, and it was. This was the shirt I got married in. We had a rock and roll wedding. It was kind of like red and black, and I bought like a $150 pair of jeans, like from Worn Star Clothing, which is like rock and roll kind of shit.
Oh,
but, you know, but I cut the sleeves off of it because
rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Fish and roll, baby. Fish and learn.
I thought you said I thought you said pinch and roll.
I love you, man. I'm just kidding.
Pinch and roll, baby.
Pinch and roll, but actually, you just reminded me of something. Oh my gosh, sorry to keep it going, but
scratch off ticket.
Pinch and roll. It looked like he was rolling a joint, but did you guys see that President Trump most recently brought up mulling the idea of reclassifying marijuana? You guys heard about that?
I've seen something a little bit about it. I've not got to read into it, but I remember seeing something about that a couple days ago.
I'll be real brief. I'll push it in real quick. So this actually was supposed to happen under the Joe Biden administration. This was something that they promised under the Joe Biden administration for everybody that's looking for medical cannabis, or maybe that's something that you enjoy. I'm not one of them. I'm recovering, but I ain't got nothing against you people. But Trump actually brought up the idea of reclassifying the drug, reclassifying marijuana from a class 1 drug, which goes up there with LSD. Okay, that's what they classify it as now. And people are receiving huge sentences for possessing marijuana, okay, because it's classified as a Schedule 1 drug. But what he is trying to bring up is that it can be classified as a Schedule 3 drug. A Schedule 3 drug, do you know what that is? That's Tylenol and codeine.
Yeah.
But it's a huge ordeal that's going on. I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was great for the people that do approve and do enjoy. Nothing against, but it is a hard topic in the Republican Party.
But it is okay for Hunter Biden to snort coke off a hooker's ass.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, class 2 drugs are okay. Okay, class 3 marijuana is not. Okay,
but
not for Republicans.
Let's dive down this rabbit hole, Pizzagate, and then we'll close the show out. Again, guys, I didn't clip the whole entire segment of Mr. Truthbomb's Pizzagate documentary. I only clipped about 30 minutes of it. And while it's playing, I will get the link and I'll post it in the chat. And I'll try to go and put it in the description of the show too, so you can click on it, go to his page and watch the full documentary of his Pizzagate take. And he's got a lot of other good stuff over there too. I recommend watching a lot of Mr. Truthbomb and, following him. But let's
there's the full hat, baby.
Oh my gosh. There it is.
Down here. Yeah, there we go. My full hat's about had the lick. I'm gonna have to order a new one from Amazon.
I saved my aluminum foil for be able to cover up a Tupperware, or maybe wrap some hot dogs on the grill. But not Hex 7, baby. He's saving that one. That one ain't never going to get used. The first person to put a hot dog in that's probably going to get killed.
Reynolds Wrap, if you're listening, let's help X out.
Exactly. Hey, we do take advertisement.
All right, let's go down the Pizzagate rabbit hole. I was going to kind of explain what Pizzagate is, but I think you'll get it from this. So let pay attention, guys. Here we go. By the way, feel free.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing.
Sorry. By the way, feel free anytime, either of you, Parabellum or Big Country, to pause or tell me to pause if you've got some commentary you want to give on a certain subject. But I'm going to step away and check on my food that's going to be cooked tomorrow. I'm trying to prep stuff. But anyway, let's go right on.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it.
But there's not
very
a
strongly.
satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no
being run
idea.
by.
I know
You
nothing
don't
about
know
that.
that? Okay.
No, I don't know
you
that.
Just this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay, just this.
I'll provide a summary to explain the Pizzagate movement's origin, outline which of its claims have been confirmed as verifiable facts, and offer my own conclusion at the end. As you likely know already, WikiLeaks published emails that were hacked from Hillary Clinton's private email server, along with a huge series of email dumps from her campaign chairman John Podesta's account. Podesta isn't just a Clinton campaign chairman, he's a long-time political operative rated as one of Washington's most influential people. Unsurprisingly, the majority of the contents from the emails associated with the two leaks were pretty mundane, but anons and web sleuths on Reddit, Steemit, 4chan and Vote, which are discussion board websites where people can post anonymously, found something strange buried within the email dumps. Nonsensical references to things like pizza and hot dogs. This kicked off a new style of research online, an open source investigation where people contribute data publicly to a forum and discuss, investigate, and compile which information is pertinent in investigating the subject in question. Forget your assumptions you may have coming into this and just consider the following with an open mind so you're equipped to judge the data and information presented on its own merits. The work of Anons reflects a recognition that similar scandals have happened on both sides of the political aisle and are completely bipartisan.
A Kelly File exclusive tonight on the conspiracy theory that came to be known as Pizzagate.
Well, Pizzagate, it became a major story weeks ago when an armed man decided to investigate a D.C. area pizza place for himself. This man right here, he carried a rifle into a pizza parlor and then fired it at the floor. Media is telling you the entire story is a hoax or fake news. But what does that even mean? I spent the last month investigating. So what exactly is Pizzagate? And are there any actual facts to support the story?
This is pretty good right here.
I've got to warn you, what we're going to talk about tonight will be disturbing to some people, but this is a reality check you won't see anywhere else. Pizzagate actually comes from the WikiLeaks release of hacked emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. In all, WikiLeaks dumped around 50,000 email messages, and it was from those emails that the claims that John Podesta may be part of a child sex trafficking ring come from. Now, to be clear, not one single email in the Podesta emails discusses child sex trafficking or pedophilia. That is a fact. But there are dozens of what seem to be strangely worded emails dealing with pizza and handkerchiefs. Self-described online investigators say that those words in the emails about pizza and the talk of handkerchiefs is code language used by pedophiles. So how did a DC pizza parlor get pulled into the story? Well, again, read any mainstream report and they indicate that Comet Ping Pong Pizza was somehow linked to this fake story and has no relation to anyone involved. But the truth is that's not true either. What media is ignoring is that the Comet Ping Pong Pizza place is actually referenced in the Podesta emails at least a dozen or so times, and that the owner of that place, James Alfantis, is a friend of John Podesta. He was actually named, this is kind of strange, by GQ magazine as one of the top 50 most powerful people in Washington. Yes, we're talking about a pizza parlor owner. Now let's talk facts here. There is no solid evidence that Comet Ping Pong Pizza is being used to run a child sex trafficking ring. But there are some very strange connections between Comet Ping Pong Pizza and a second pizza place 2 doors over, Besta Pizza, and the accusations of pedophilia. Now this is where things start to get strange when you research this story. Now to begin, I need to show you a 2007 unclassified FBI document. That document, according to the FBI, contains commonly used symbols by pedophiles to express their preference in children. I want you to see these images here. These are the images. Notice this one on the end, the triangle. That image signifies something called boy love. The pizza place next door to Comet Ping Pong Pizza, Besta Pizza, well, this was their logo until only a few weeks ago. Clearly you can see that the Besta logo actually contains the same image, I'm going to show you again, as that boy lover image. Interestingly, after Pizzagate investigators pointed this out, Besta Pizza changed their logo, and there it is now. They removed the triangle. Also, Comet Ping Pong, owned by Alfantis, is the place where a number of performance artists perform regularly. 2 of the groups that perform there, who you can see advertised, by the way, on this Comet Ping Pong poster, include a group called Heavy Breathing and another group called Sex Stains. Well, if you check out the YouTube videos by these bands, Heavy Breathing has songs that do joke about pedophilia, and the band Sex Stains has a video that includes, and you see it right there, that same boy lover symbol. It's nearly identical to the one that the FBI does say is a pedophile code symbol for boy love. As I said, there are some strange things there. As for the owner of the pizza place, James Alfantis, well, he was one time in a relationship with David Brock, who ran Media Matters for America. Well, since Pizzagate began to blow up online, he has made his Instagram profile, Jimmy Comet, private. But an archive search of Instagram reveals a number of strange photographs and words with...
I want to pause this right here real quick and share my screen because let me see if I can actually do that.
You know what this represents?
Nope, not that. 1 second. There we go. Jimmy Comet. That's Alfantes' Instagram account. I looked it up. So if anybody wants to go, and I've not followed him, but if anybody wants to go give him a follow and try to look into some of his shit, you can just look him up on Instagram by Jimmy Comet. So anyway, let's get back into Pizzagate.
Strange and disturbing images associated with them. Look, to the point where we can't show you those pictures. We're not even going to describe them to you because some viewers would find it too disturbing to share on TV. Now let's talk about the Podesta brothers, because remember, it was John Podesta's email that was hacked. In those leaked Podesta emails, John Podesta talks about his close relationship with Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, who was recently sentenced to 15 months in prison for abusing boys years ago. He was referred to by the judge as a serial child molester. According to the Washington Post, visitors to Tony Podesta's home in Falls Church got an eyeful when they walked into a bedroom at the Podesta residence hung with multiple color pictures by Katie Grannon, a photographer known for documentary-style pictures of naked teenagers in their parents' suburban homes. And to be clear, that just begins to scratch the surface of how strange some of this stuff is. And bear in mind, we can't get into a lot of the real details of it because of the limits on broadcasting this on television. But it is some very strange stuff. Now keep in mind, again, there is no proof here that there is a child sex ring being operated out of a DC pizza parlor. Investigators have already proven there's nothing to the story, right? Well, actually, no. And that's what you need to know. For all that is here, there has not been one single public investigation of any of this. Not from local police, not from the FBI, no one. And that has to be the big question. Not for Podesta or for pizza parlor owners, but for law enforcement. Based on what may be or may not be here, the big question is, why hasn't any investigation taken place?
And the craziest fake news of all is something called Pizzagate. People actually believe a conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton and her former campaign manager, John Podesta, ran a child sex ring at a pizzeria in D.C. This is a lie. We all know the only people who are trapped in a pizza place are those robots at Chuck E. Cheese. I've seen Westworld. One day they're going to rise up and kill us all. Now, according to the folks with the spider eggs hatching in their brains, Clinton and Podesta have a series of smuggling tunnels that connect to the basement of this pizzeria. But police refuse to investigate the basement crime scene on the flimsy excuse that the pizzeria does not have a basement. That's how deep this goes. Ground level. So where did this conspiracy theory start? Apparently, some alt-right folks were combing through Clinton campaign emails hacked by Russia and published by WikiLeaks and noticed there seems to be more references to pizza and pizzerias than they had expected, which can only mean one thing: secret sex ring. A lot of uninformed, gullible people fell for the Clinton-Podesta sex ring theory. People like Trump's pick for National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, who tweeted out a link writing, "New Hillary emails, money laundering, sex crimes with children, etc. must read," introducing it, "You decide." Okay, then I decide a guy who spreads this bull shouldn't be in charge of national security.
James Alefantis is an entrepreneur and avid art collector and owns a few shops and restaurants in the Washington, D.C. area. Not only is Alefantis the proprietor of Comet Ping Pong, books, fishing and camping, as well as other establishments, but according to GQ magazine, James Alefantis is the 49th most influential person in DC. Comet Ping Pong Pizza has hosted many Democrat fundraisers and events, including for Hillary Clinton herself. The Federal Election Commission reports that Hillary Clinton donated to James Alefantis and so did George Soros. Alefantis celebrates his birthday each year with Big Tony Podesta. James Alefantis' ex-boyfriend is David Brock, who founded the liberal media watchdog group Media Matters for America. In late 2013, Brock founded the company Correct the Record, which was described by the New York Times as Hillary Clinton's own personal media watchdog. Both James Alefantis and David Brock were heavily involved in the Hillary 2016 campaign and have been lurking in the shadows of the DNC for a long time. And here we have a picture of James Alefantis and David Brock hanging out at Linda Rothschild's house. There are lots of rumors that James Alefantis himself is actually a Rothschild. Also, according to the Federal Election Commission, James Alefantis has donated multiple times to former presidential candidate Democrat Pete Buttigieg. So we can also see by the attendance logs that James Alefantis has visited the White House at least 5 times. Here's a letter from Hillary Clinton to James Alefantis thanking him for dinner, cooking with the Fratelli Podesta.
Sorry about that. I was removing stuff from stage and removed the actual video. Let me pull that back up here and we'll continue. 1 second.
Dean Brock founded the company Correct the Record, which was described by the New York Times as Hillary Clinton's own personal media watchdog. Both James Alefantis and David Brock were heavily involved in the Hillary 2016 campaign and have been lurking in the shadows of the DNC for a long time. And here we have a picture of James Alefantis and David Brock hanging out at Linda Rothschild's house. There are lots of rumors that James Alefantis himself is actually a Rothschild. Also, according to the Federal Election Commission, James Alefantis has donated multiple times to former presidential candidate Democrat Pete Buttigieg.
Big Country, didn't you uncover some stuff that linked Alefantis to the Rothschilds?
I just was tracing back some of his family lineage, showing at what point in that family's history that his name changed from Alefantis or from Rothschild to Alefantis, how he got the name.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and pull all that up and may have that for another show.
Okay. Like I remember you telling me about that, some of the stuff you had uncovered about it.
Yeah.
When we first watched the whole what was it, Follow the Cabal is what that was in.
Cabal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when we actually, me and you both traced back a lot of lineage on some of these people.
Yep.
Linda Rothschild, James Alefantis. There are several others. I just have to go back and find that.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but anyway,
Yep.
Let's continue. Anytime you want to pause during this and give some commentary, just let me know.
I got you.
All right, here we go.
So we can also see by the attendance logs that James Alefantis has visited the White House at least 5 times. Here's a letter from Hillary Clinton to James Alefantis thanking him for dinner, cooking with the Fratelli Podesta. Here's another picture of Obama that James Alefantis posted with Obama playing ping pong with a young boy at the White House. James Alefantis is known as Jimmy Comet on Instagram, and in 2016 researchers found out a huge amount of strange photos, many including children with strange references on his account, which of course he quickly switched to private. But Anons were quick to capture the information, and his Instagram was scrutinized by thousands of people online due to the disturbing nature of the posts from the owner of a family restaurant. Many of the comments and hashtags posted on the photos of his account and many of the accounts linked to James Alefantis and Comet Pizza include code words well known and established by the FBI as codes used by pedos. With what was discovered in the open source investigations by Anons on forums I've mentioned before, such as 4chan's Paul, Vote, Steemit and Reddit, people wondered why James Alefantis had so many pictures of kids all over his social media when he does not have any kids himself. Of course, he says he got the photos from random Facebook pages, and the pictures were of his friends' children, who are of course afraid to come forward due to the backlash by the crazy conspiracy theorists who had questions about the creepy content shared amongst him and his friends, which really uncovered an almost underground culture that normal people not part of that culture would not understand. So let us now see what all the fuss is about and check out some of James Alefantis' Instagram posts that the media completely kept away from the public. So in this photo we have a baby eating pizza, and the comments say, "First pizza," and another that says, "New Comet ad," as in a new ad for Comet Ping Pong. In this one we have a baby doll for sale, and the comments say, "Way overpriced." In this photo we have another picture of a baby with the hashtag of hotard, as in a whore and a retard, which is messed up to be thinking that way about a baby. Here we have a child drinking milk with the hashtag #CarisJames. Here again we have another hashtag with #CarisJames with a picture of a child posing with money. Here is another hashtag of #CarisJames with a picture of a child. This man doesn't have any children, but has pictures of children all over his Instagram. Here's a picture of a girl at a beauty pageant, and she is highlighted as saying, "I just want my pizza." The media totally covered up this aspect of the case. One of the more disturbing images is of this child pictured as being taped to a table.
Okay, Hicks, here's a little something that ties him back to the Rothschilds.
All right, go ahead.
The Lynn de Rothschild that they were referring to earlier in the video that was involved with Elephantis. Lynn Forster de Rothschild is spouse to Evelyn de Rothschild. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Children of one of those, and you'll be familiar with this name when I say it.
Yeah, news anchor.
Children. One of their children is David Mayer.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. You remember? Shit. Amschel Rothschild.
Yep.
Well, his middle name was Mayer also. One of Evelyn and Lynn's children is David Mayer de Rothschild.
So what I was getting at there with news anchor isn't like I seems like we seen in the Fall of the Cabal series about what's his name, news anchor, CNN. What the fuck's his name? The one who stood in the like two foot of water and like was like down on his knees to make it look like it was deeper than what it was. And
oh yeah,
what the hell's his name? Damn it, I'm having a brain fart.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. Like, wasn't his mom a Rothschild too? Like, did we see that in the Fall of the Cabal series too? That like he has ties into the Rothschilds.
Yeah, you're correct. I'll try to find that lineage here while the video's playing. I'll pause you if I get a hit.
Okie doke.
Right.
Let's continue.
Here is James Elephantis posting about money and pills, and in the comments it says ping pong in London. Here's Elephantis expressing his love for playing ping pong in Germany in a place called Dr. Pong's. I wonder, are these places linked somehow? Here's James Elephantis displaying 3 masked children, which was linked to another creepy account.
Yeah, that's freaking creepy.
One of the most controversial images is of one man holding a baby with a sex bracelet around their necks. James Elephantis tags chicken lovers, and chicken lover is defined as a homosexual man that is attracted to underage boys in the Urban Dictionary, which is commonly cited in these posts. In this picture of a baby on a hammock, James Elephantis comments his usual disturbing.
It was some of the pictures that we seen on Fall of the Cabal that was supposed to be depicting Anderson
Yeah,
Cooper
it
at
it
a
was
young age
the
in the
painting.
swimming.
Yeah, in the pool with the towel.
Okay, that the picture of the pool, the house that was in was the Vanderbilt mansion.
Yep.
Okay, the direct descendants of Anderson Cooper's mother, which was Gloria Vanderbilt.
Ties
And
back into the Rothschilds, right?
yeah, well, it ties back to the Vanderbilt mansion, the place where the picture was created of Anderson Cooper in that pool, the one that they had hanging in Comet Ping Pong.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I don't know, it's been a while since I've watched it. Like we had it on the show, but I didn't really like watch too much through it when we were showing it on the show the last couple times. But I was thinking that the Vanderbilts and Anderson Cooper's family tied back into the Rothschilds somehow. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
No, I'm going to say you're right. I just haven't traced the lineage back that far yet.
Okay.
But Anderson Cooper ties into Gloria Vanderbilt and goes back to their grandfather, Reginald Claypool Vanderbilt.
I'm just going to throw this out there and take a wild guess that say that the Vanderbilts tie into the Rothschilds somehow, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's continue.
Disturbing weird shit. In this image we have a large refrigerated room, and in the comments section we see someone say #killroom and #murder. We also see someone comment who is called Working on My Night Cheese, who also has a kill room at his artist studio at the Pajama Factory, and his friends who are apparently familiar with the #killroom. Here he is making a small coffin table.
I got to pause right here because, like, when I seen this scene in this, it made me think of what's the movie Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs. What size do you wear? The whole van scene there kind of made me think of that. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there.
This comment says it's like concrete, but plywood, but concrete. Here, Working on My Night Cheese asks James Alefantis on this post if he was burying a body. Some of the other images are again very risque for what is being pushed as a family restaurant.
Wow.
In the comments of this post, we see someone saying, "Whip me up a Haitian special, extra cheese." Do you think this is all normal for a children's pizzeria?
Answer me.
It is also weird that James Alefantis' name can be basically translated from French to be I like children.
How about that shit?
It is also worth knowing that the hashtag we have seen, hashtag KarisJames, could have something to do with the drug Karis Prodol, which is a muscle relaxant, but I'm not too sure about that. The profile picture of James Alefantis is the Greek god Antinous, who was deified as a living god and was attracted to young boys. So this would be someone idolized by maybe a pedophile. So John Podesta was the chairman of the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016 and has served as counselor to Obama and chief of staff for Bill Clinton. Podesta has been in the inner circle of some very powerful people for a very long time.
I want to pause right there for just a second and remind everybody that Biden appointed John Podesta, what was it, to a climate czar? Is that what he appointed Podesta to, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Correct us if we're wrong, but I think it was climate czar. Biden had appointed him to that. But I just wanted to throw that little note in there as we continue through this shit. So let's go.
Leaks released thousands of Podesta's emails, and when researchers went through them, they found some weird references to hot dogs and pizza, as I've previously mentioned, and it became obvious that they were talking in some kind of code. The same code established years prior by the FBI, as in hot dog means boy and pizza means girl. Here we have an email discussing that the White House is flying in $6,500 worth of hot dogs and pizza from Chicago for a late night party at...
All right, one more time. Want to pause. He's getting into shit that was leaked to WikiLeaks from the Hillary Clinton stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And we had this on not the last episode, but I think it was like the previous episode that we had of Same Cues, Different Views. We had it on there talking about these emails that was leaked to WikiLeaks, and I was pulling up the emails. And this is the emails that he's going over here, so pay attention.
The White House. Using the usual channels is mentioned. Guys, they're not talking about food, as it is prohibited to bring in outside food to the White House for fear of poisoning and for security reasons. The White House has a fully functioning kitchen to be able to cater for guests. Are we really supposed to believe that they're flying in hot dogs all the way from Chicago for late night parties at the White House when there's perfectly good food in Washington, D.C., which is actually renowned for its very good restaurants, so no need to go all the way to Chicago? This email is addressed to John Podesta and discusses dreaming about a hot dog stand in Hawaii. Now, this email is one of Hillary's, and it says, "With fingers crossed, the old rabbit's foot out of the attic. I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch." Moloch? So there you have it, folks. Hillary Clinton out in the back garden sacrificing a chicken to some satanic god. Why didn't the media cover that? Instead, they were covering Donald Trump having too much ketchup on his fries. Here is one from James Alefantis to Podesta, including the Hillary logo with a pizza embedded on it. Alefantis says to Podesta not to forward it. This is just another example of their humor in their culture. In this one, Podesta says, "I'm coming to town and I'm bringing walnuts." In another email, we also see him talk about walnut sauce. This email says, "The realtor found a handkerchief map that is pizza related." Why would anyone be emailing about such things? Handkerchief maps that are pizza related. The FBI has also reported about a thing called a handkerchief code, with each color of the handkerchief having a specific meaning. And this one says, "Do you think I'll do better playing dominoes on cheese than on pasta?" This email shows John writing to his brother Tony Podesta saying he would love to get pizza for an hour. Another email includes a picture of a party at Podesta's house. At the party, they have a lifelike cutout of the Pope. This email
So pizza for an hour. Who says they would love to get pizza for an hour? Like if I want pizza, I'm like, I'd love to have some pizza, like an actual pizza.
Yeah, somebody that says that is somebody that's not ordering pizza.
Yeah, it's not about pizza, people. I'd love to get pizza for an hour. Again, go back and look at the FBI stuff that was in this that was declassified about the symbolism and the codes and the child trafficking ring and what pizza means.
Yep.
Anyway, I just wanted to toss that out there too. So let's continue.
I'm just going through on Google here, Hex. Before you start the video back, I thought it was kind of funny that every name that I've typed in Google to try to get a family lineage on has brought something up, and that's including Anderson Cooper, tracing him back to the Vanderbilts.
Yeah.
You type in James Alefonis, you can't get a family tree.
Yeah. Are you getting a lot of related kind of content that's popping up?
Yeah.
Well, not really related, but based on the word you type, you get content coming up that has those key words in it.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Google buries information.
Yeah.
Like if you remember, it was in Fall of the Cabal. He was talking about, or not Fall of the Cabal, but Project Looking Glass, Through the Looking Glass, we just went over. Brad was talking about how you want to search for the Foo Fighters. All you get's this band called the Foo Fighters, and nobody, you can't really find out what the Foo Fighters are, what they really were, because all you get's the band. If you want to look for, like all these certain things and you type it in, Google buries it with other shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing with him.
Yep, exactly. Want to continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
As an image of two Asian women eating pizza with a child. Well, these women in this picture are Laura Lee and Laura Ling, who were arrested while allegedly researching child trafficking for Democrat Al Gore's media company.
30 hours ago, Yuna Lee and I were prisoners in North Korea. We feared that at any moment we could be sent to a hard labor camp. And then suddenly we were told that we were going to a meeting. We were taken to a location, and when we walked in through the doors, we saw standing before us President Bill Clinton.
If you wanna hang out, you got to take her out. Cocaine.
I find this next example to be the most disturbing, and it was covered really well by both Memory Hold and Mouthy Buddha. We see that Tamara Lozado shares her excitement about the reprise of the gang's visit to the farm in Lovettsville. We plan to heat the pool, so a swim is a possibility. Bonnie will be transporting Ruby Emerson and Maeve, 11, 9 and 7, so you will have some further entertainment and they will be in that pool for sure. So why is a mother organizing for a grown man to swim with her children? I remember all this information coming in day by day live, and this really horrified a lot of the Anons. It was very clear to us that something else was being discussed here other than food. This painting was found in the campaign office of John Podesta, and it looks like two people are about to eat another human. John's brother Tony Podesta and his wife were named by GQ to be the 23rd most powerful people in Washington. The Podesta Group's website describes him as the following: many people in Washington can tell you what just happened to you. Tony Podesta helps you change outcomes. Tony is recognized by his peers, the news media, and decision makers across the federal government as the man with the judgments and smarts to get things done. James Alefantis and the Podesta brothers are obviously complete deep state weirdos and are into some very sick shit. Washington Home Life magazine featured Tony Podesta and shows his house and his art collection. We see the art displayed is very sexually themed around children. The article starts off by saying, if you've ever dreamed of strolling through a museum with a glass of wine and a slice of pizza in hand, you need to befriend super lobbyist Tony Podesta, known about town as a legendary political fix-it man. Tony has turned his home into a shrine for contemporary art, including some of his favorite artists. The article goes on to say he came from a Hillary Clinton fundraiser and has worked for Walmart, Lockheed, and Wells Fargo. The article also says he regularly hosts pizza parties with his friend James Alefantis. Tony's first major art purchase is the £2,000 bronze statue by an artist called Louis Bourgeois, and the piece is called The Arch of Hysteria. According to the National Gallery of Canada, the piece was inspired by the artist's interests in the physical, emotional, and the psychological aspects of pain and fear. It has been well noted that the Arch of Hysteria also mimics the same position that Jeffrey Dahmer would leave his decapitated victims in.
All right, we're going to leave off there. Again, I only clipped a little bit of that show. I posted the link in the comments, and I've posted the link in the chat too. Let me pull that up one more time if anybody wants it. To Mr. Truth Bomb, you can go and watch the full episode there for that segment of Pizzagate. And also I want to remind everybody, Real AF Patriot has Follow the Cabal series over on his channel on Rumble, and it goes into a lot of this same stuff with Pizzagate. So go follow, give Real AF Patriot. Actually, let me pull up Real AF Patriot and I'll post that too. You with me, Big Country?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. But anyway, let me copy that. I'm going to post it in the chat. And I'll put that on the screen also. So there's Real AF Patriots link if you want to go follow him and watch the Follow the Cabal series. He's got a lot of other good content that he's posted on his page too. Big Country and myself have followed both Real AF and Mr. Truth Bomb for a while now. They've got really good stuff they put out. I highly recommend going and following them if you want to learn more about Pizzagate, or if you want to learn more about the Q operation and what's going on. Both of those guys are really big Q guys and have some really interesting and informative documentaries on their channels. So give them a follow, Real AF Patriot or Mr. Truth Bomb. But you got any closing words, Big Country, before we close this show out?
Just keeping it simple, man. Everybody, thanks for watching. God bless. We'll see you on the next one.
Heck yeah. Same here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it greatly. All of us appreciate it greatly here at Same Q's Different Views. And if you can, please go down there and hit that thumbs up button below the screen. Give us a like. Share the show with other people. Get us out there. We're trying to get started. We're new to streaming. We're trying to figure it out. But, hit that thumbs up, share, give us a start. But exactly. We're going to jump out here for the night. We've got stuff to do. I got a cookout and tomorrow, and I've got all kinds of stuff that I got to go prep in here in the kitchen. But God bless, and where we go one, we go all. And I'm going to leave you guys with a closing song before we end the show. And we'd watched the video of Trump saying, talking about the storm coming. So let's close out with this song. A storm is coming. What do you say, Big Country?
Wear it out, man.
All right, here we go. Peace out, guys. God bless.
Something waits within the shadows, like an army in the night. Lock the doors and board the windows. A storm is coming that you can't escape. Tears are falling like blood and rain. The thunder's shaking and it's gonna break. A storm is coming that you can't